Shirt show. All right, let's go.
Shirt show! Talking shirt! Shirt show! Talking shirt! Shirt show! Talking shirt! Shirt show! Shirt man! All right! Episode 252 of Shirt Show! We're talking with Angel from Halo Print Co. in Australia! Let's go!
Hey everybody. So Chad just called me with awesome news that basically the episode's recording and the intro that I just recorded a minute ago basically sounds like not the guests, they sound great. My mic had an issue and I guess it's fine. Like it sounds okay. It's just the quality isn't quite where it needed to be. But he said it's usable and it's fixable and it's fine. It just sounds like I'm talking out of an old-timey phone. So if you're into that kind of thing, this episode's for you. So that'll be sweet. I did fix the cable. So for those of you who've listened to the show before, basically over the last month or two, I've been trying to improve things. Like the video quality is way better now because we're using a different program. I got a different camera. I ordered an XLR cable for my microphone recently, and I guess it's a piece of shit. So I'm back to my old cable and we're good. Things should sound fine. This intro will sound fine. The episode might sound a little funky, but it's still a great episode. Listen to it, love it. I'm sorry, but it won't happen again. Hopefully, fingers crossed, knock on wood. Anyway, if you're new here, I'm Dylan, owner of Upstate Merch, also the host of the Shirt Show podcast. My guest host today is Jordy of Days Printing. I've had him on here a few times. He's been on twice. Great dude, super knowledgeable, just fun to talk to, amazing mustache. So I'm glad he got to do this one with me. We had the opportunity to talk with Angel of Halo Print Co. in Australia. That's super fun because we recorded at 4:30 Eastern and he was 7 a.m. the next day in the future. So that's always fun to line up and get to do these shows when we talk to someone from Australia. But we love Australia. Australia is actually the number 2 country that listens to this podcast. We dove right in basically talking about how Australia is the real life Mad Max and how most of the population lives on the outside and all the bad shit lives on the inside. Because I told him everything I ever hear about the world's deadliest creatures all live in Australia. We also talked about this cool thing that he has in his retail spot that's called the Education Station. And he basically has all the different printing techniques, brand new, freshly printed. And then he also has them with a lot of washes and wear to show what they will look like eventually. So it's a really cool tool to get the customer to be like, oh yeah, I love this look. And this is what the lifespan of this shirt is going to be. And it looks great. A lot of this episode was about being yourself and showing your customers that you really care about them and customer service first. They really try to make it about a customer experience when they come in and show them that, you know, they're not just a quick fly-by-night thing where you can get a shirt made and it's going to fall apart. They really stand behind the product. Angel also shared some really cool ideas on how to get the word out about your shop locally, so stay tuned for those tips. As always, thank you so much for tuning into the show. It means the world to me. If you could take a second, like, subscribe, share the episode on Instagram, leave us a review on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. It really helps out the show a lot. I'm also going to start looking for those comments and I'm going to just start randomly hitting people up asking what their shirt size is and what their address is. And I'm just going to start sending some free stuff. So if you want to help out the show, I'm going to try to, get you some cool stuff. Appreciate you. This show would not be possible without our partners. It all starts with a screen. It's called screen printing for a reason. Whether it's new stretches or restretches, Frank and his team do it the best. Stop wasting your precious time and get the right tool for the job. To find out more, go to graphicscreenfashion.com, greatfuckingscreens.com, or ffffrank.com. Cleaning screens is no fun, but EasyWay makes it way more funner. Their line of eco-friendly chemicals will make recleaning screens a whole lot easier. Check them out at easyway.com. EasyWay. It's the easiest way, baby. GraphX is the source for production-ready digital art and remote art staffing. They can help any size shop from just starting out to enterprise level. Looking to add a hero to your art department? Check them out at graphxsource.com. SNS Activewear and Alpha Broder are integrating to become your premier partner for the apparel industry. With one website, one purchase order, 14 distribution centers, and over 100 beloved brands, you can streamline your ordering and hit free freight faster than ever. SNS has 1 to 2 day shipping with the lowest error rate in industry. That is so huge for us printers. You should definitely keep that in mind. Don't forget that they have combined net term limits to benefit your business like never before. Be sure to order your blanks from ssactivewear.com. The weather cues of Comfort Colors are inspired by nature, so it makes sense that their dye process would be made with respect for it too. The Pigment Pure process produces earth-friendly colors by using 1/3 less water, taking 40% less process time, and consuming less energy, requiring 0 salt. The 1717 is my favorite shirt of all time. For over 90 years, Stahls has been the leading choice among apparel decorators for their heat transfer materials, heat press equipment, and custom transfer services. Not only do they offer some of the best products, but they are always looking to innovate and educate in our industry on all things heat press. Head over to stahls.com to order your transfers and check them out on YouTube to be taught a thing or two. Seriously, some really great content on there if you're into any kind of heat printing. Great people. Again, I really appreciate all of you. Thank you so much for listening to the show. I hope you enjoy this episode. I'm sorry again about my microphone cable. Next episode, it'll be fixed. Promise. Thank you. What's up, handsome?
Not much. Just bought a press.
I know. Well, you just texted me that. That's big news. Was that from today's auction?
Yeah. I woke up, started bidding, and I lost the first one, and then I was like, well, I'm not going to do that again. So there was like 4 available. So I was like, I'm going to get one. I'm
can't let it beat me.
Yes.
Is this your first auction?
First auction for screen printing stuff. Yeah.
I've never done one. I mean, I'm in a couple groups where people talk about them all the time. They're like, "Oh, you're getting on this one, and people get some cool stuff. But like, I've never taken a part in an auction like that. I had a friend pick something up for me once, but that was it.
Mm-hmm.
But even this auction, there's a text group I'm in, Mild Boys, that everyone's buying something.
Yeah.
Like they're like, "Oh, I got this press and this dryer and this thing," and I'm just like, man, it must be a fire sale because
I was talking with Matt and Nathan from Relentless, and because they were like, Matt was like, you got to get something, you got to get one of these presses. He was like pushing it.
Matt
like,
is a used equipment, like it's his whole
fiend,
world.
dude. Like
he is a fiend.
They bought some stuff too, so we're all gonna go out there, crate things up, and get it on its way. It was a great deal. I mean, I was pretty stoked on it. So,
hell yeah, that's awesome.
I need the upgrade. Like you can only take manual so far before you're just burnt out.
Yeah. Are you fucking pumped, dude? That's like a huge deal from manual to auto.
Yeah, I'm on like I just texted like Matt and Nathan right before hopping out. I was like, dude, I'm on cloud 9. I gotta fucking calm down.
The real question is, do you have everything prepped? Like, do you have air compressor? Do you have like the right power? Like,
power is not going to be too much of an issue. I've got an electrician for that. We do need to get a compressor and a chiller and all that, but I think I found a pretty cheap one that I can get nearby. So
rotary screw. Don't fuck around. Get a rotary screw right off the bat.
You think go straight for it? All right. Maybe that's the 100%. All right.
Is it definitely? You're going to spend extra money, but you're going to like life better.
Because it's a quiet shop. I mean, it's a manual shop right now, so it's like going rotary screw out the gate's going to be nice.
Yeah, you have to. I'm telling you, it's one of those things where like everyone always goes the cheaper route. They're like, "Oh, I'm just going to buy this like piston compressor."
Yeah.
And then it's like all the time. And it's like, just fucking do it, dude. Just spend the extra money. Rotary screw. It's more efficient. The new ones too have step down features. So like we have one that basically I think is like 15 horse, but like the old school ones are just like, say they're 15 or 10 horse or whatever. They're 15 or 10 horse all the time. So like you're drawing that much power to run them.
So you can run it a little
all
slower.
The time. So like if you do a rotary screw at 15 horse, but you're only required like, I don't know, like 4 horse or something, it'll step down to where you're only using 4 horse worth of power. So it's going to be more efficient for you, and it's going to be quieter, and it's just going to be better all around. So
I'm all about those things.
Don't fuck around. Buy that.
Okay.
and then buy one with an external chiller.
Okay.
People will argue with me on that on the show, I'm sure. But
Comment
Ingersoll
below.
is like, yeah, like Ingersoll is who we got ours through, and they're in Syracuse, like one of their headquarters or whatever. And they were straight up just like, dude, don't buy it in the machine, because if you buy it inside and something goes wrong with it, it's way harder to fix. It's way more like costly. They're like, if you just buy the external one that sits right next to it on the ground, if that goes bad, you just replace that unit. Like there's no
That makes
need
sense.
to like do anything. You pick it up, you throw it away, and you put a new one in.
That makes
So
sense.
that's what we have. So I don't know. A lot of people will buy the one that's like, oh, it's built in, whatever. But I don't know. They're like, this is the first thing to go wrong. Like this is the first thing to go bad. So why would you have one that's built into the machine? So
That makes sense. I mean, I don't like 2-in-1, 3-in-1 type pieces anyway. I kind of like things being separate.
Mhm.
For that exact same reason, where it's like, if
Yeah.
you have like a business, it's like a business in a truck versus a trailer, where it's like, if you have like a mobile
Mhm.
business and it's in a trailer, you can pull that trailer with a rental car. If you have a business in a truck and that
Mm.
truck breaks down, you're stuck.
You're
Like,
screwed. Exactly. Yeah.
I'm always like, make it easy, make it simple, make it so you're more malleable.
hmm Yeah. But I also grew up with that sense of like my dad putting me of like, I've bought brand new cars before, but I always buy like the base model because I don't like all the fancy features that go bad. Like, this is going to sound dumb and cheap, but like I bought a Jeep a while ago. I don't have it anymore. I've gone Toyota for like the last, like, I don't know, 8 years or something. But
Proper.
I got a crank window. It's like a brand new car, and I had
I love
crank
cranks.
windows. And people are like, "You're an idiot! Like, why would you do that?" I'm like, "Because it's like a $30 part to fix if the window doesn't work, instead of an electric window where like you have to replace everything."
Well, the electric window,
So
so many
again,
more
that's
things can go
stupid,
wrong.
but like
I
anything like that, like stereos or whatever, it's like the more fucking buttons and everything. Like you buy a washer and dryer, and it's like it has a computer chip, like computer board in it. It's like, what happened to just turning the knob to like 60 and hitting start?
The smart fridges. Got a whole
Yeah, it's like
tablet
so
on the
much less
face
shit
of
to
it.
go wrong. Yeah, yeah. I don't
I'm
know.
all
We could go
about
on
that.
this forever.
Yeah.
Yeah. But hey, today's guest is Angel from Halo Print Co. And apparently you guys just became buds recently.
Yeah. I just found his shop and I was like, oh my God, I want to rip off all these ideas. This is amazing.
I know. Yeah. His place is sweet. Well, I saw him on Instagram and I was like, hey, I'd love to have you on. And he was like, yeah, dude, I would love to. But the funny thing is, he's in Australia.
Yeah.
So like we've had people in Australia on the show before, and it's like huge time to like it's 7 a.m. or something for him right now.
Wild.
What's up, dude?
There he is.
Gentlemen,
How are you? Is it 7 a.m. for you or some shit?
it's fucking early, boys. It's a cheeky 7:30 in the morning.
It's rough.
Yeah, you can kind of see the sun rise, the Australian sunrise kind of peeking through.
I was gonna say you got this glow going
This
on.
ethereal glow. I mean, my name is Angel.
That's true. Yeah. And Christina put it together for me. She's like, well, his name's Angel. His shop's name is Halo. Like, perfect sense.
You get it. You get it. Yeah, it's the way.
So you're 7 a.m. in the future, right? Like it's April 2nd
I'm
for
7
you.
a.m. tomorrow. Yeah. So I'm living in the future. Everything's good. Everything looks
Nice.
great. Everything looks bright. So you
The
guys don't
world
have to
didn't
worry.
end.
It's not ended. The iceberg is still there. We're
Okay,
chilling.
perfect.
We're chilling.
This rules. So you guys just met recently too, right?
Jordy,
Yeah, cool.
on IG.
Yeah. Quick little IG DM
DM.
chat.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah. A little bit of cheeky DM.
Yeah, I started following you guys, I don't know, somewhat recently. I can't remember when exactly, but you got a lot going on, especially on socials and stuff. I mean, Jordy does too. You guys are all about the socials.
Yeah, man. Jordy, I mean, not to glaze you, but no, it's cool to see what you're doing, and it's very inspiring for the rest of the print community because there's a standard that needs to be met. You know what I mean?
thanks,
So
man.
we
Appreciate
can't
the
hit
hell out
that
of
standard yet, but you're there. You're the standard.
He's got the paddle, the mic, the mustache,
Yeah.
the
Oh, yeah.
look.
Yeah,
You
the
know.
angles.
I
the
shaved this
angles.
morning. I know it doesn't look like it, but
Dude, you look like a blurry mess to me right now.
Yeah,
because
you're a
Riverside's
whopping
recording.
2 megapixels.
Yeah.
oh jeez.
Good
Hopefully it's
looking,
recording better
you know.
than that. It keeps telling me it's recording
No.
better than that. So
Yeah, but that's the thing. That's the thing with Riverside is it will record on your computer, and then when it uploads, it'll be like the best quality supposedly. So,
amazing.
to us
So it
right
looks
now,
good
you
on my
just
side.
look like a blobby amoeba. but
I like that, though.
You're kind of a thought. Like
yeah,
a dream.
you're just an apparition. So, Angel, you kind of you're a New York boy originally.
Born and bred.
Uh-uh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Born and bred. Moved here 11 years ago. Never looked back. It's
Why?
paradise.
Why the never look back?
It's paradise, bro. Have you seen New York train stations? I mean, come on.
I mean, yes.
Yeah, that's why you never look back.
Yeah.
Even
I
if
get
you
it.
did look back, you'd probably get stabbed. So you just look forward.
You just
don't
that's
look
the
back.
that's the
Just
thing
keep
is you
moving.
don't look
Just
back
keep
because
moving.
it's a
Yeah, correct.
it's for
When
safety.
When I came here, I started walking slower. I started talking slower. I started eating slower, and I was like, I can get used to this. This is nice.
Less bagels.
Oh, brother, they don't even know what a bagel is here. It's crazy.
The only thing I know about Australia is that it has like literally all of the bad shit in the world, animal wise, is in one place.
Yeah,
Like everything poisonous, everything that crawls in your home.
You know what the good thing is though? If you don't fuck with them, they won't fuck with you. Can I curse on here? Is that all right? 'Cause
Oh,
I curse a
all
lot.
day,
Okay,
yes.
cool. If you don't fuck with them,
Preferably.
they won't fuck with you.
Yeah.
So there's
preferably.
like the middle, right? So I live on like this side, the New York, Florida side, right?
Okay. All right.
And then there's the middle where nobody lives. That's just like a no-go zone. And then
why is it a no-go zone?
Because it's just too hot. There's too many things that'll kill you, right? why do that to yourself?
Right.
So, and then you have the down part, which is pretty chill. You know, the Texasy area, that's cool. And then you got the California area, and then a little bit of the north, a little bit of Canada. That's about it. Everywhere else, nobody lives. They
Everyone
only
else is
live
a
on the
death
outskirts.
zone.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you guys are just pushing all those creatures to the middle.
Well, I mean, you've seen Mad Max, surely.
Mhm.
That's a lot of that was filmed in those deserty middle parts of
Right,
Australia.
right.
So
And that shit still happens there. It was a documentary of Central Australia.
yeah, that was actually the last election. That was just live footage from the last election.
So you got to give me some context. You're like in Brooklyn, and Christina gave me some notes, but you left with basically like a backpack, and we're like, "Fuck it, I'm going to Australia."
Yeah, I played Tony Hawk Underground 2, Sydney map. And it's like that's where I'm going to move to. That's that's a good map. That's a good game. Good map. You know, it's a life-changing map, literally. So
Apparently, yeah.
yeah, moved here. Came to kind of study music and a bit of public speaking, that kind of thing. I wanted to like speak to people, and met my wife, fell in love, and fell in love, and then she became my wife, and now we're
Ideally,
been running a print shop for 5 years. I got a job with AS Color, so I used to work for AS Color before being a printer.
Sick.
okay. So you get there, and you're doing what? You're going to school?
Yeah. I was going to school and playing music, so just
Okay.
jazz bass, a little bit of
Nice.
dilly dally,
Jazz bass and public speaking.
Jazz. That's a very cult leader. I know, in the making. Jazz bass and public speaking is usually what they study.
Goes really well with that Bane hoodie.
Yeah, grew up in the New York, Boston hardcore scene. Shout out New York
Hell
hardcore
yeah.
scene. Yeah, and that's kind of.
So how do you go? How do you go from school to AS Color then?
When I got married, I really needed a job. Oh fuck, you're gonna love this. Okay, so I was a plumber back in New York already. I tried to get
Obviously.
I've tried to get a plumbing job here. My hair was blue. They tell me, hey, you can get this job. It comes with a cell phone, company car, big salary, but you're gonna have to dye your hair black. You can't have blue hair. And I looked at AS Color and I was like, can I keep my blue hair? And they said, yeah. I said, fuck it, I'm going with AS Color. And that changed the entire trajectory of my life. Who would have thought that blue
definitely.
hair changed everything?
Well, fuck, you just told me 2 seconds ago Tony Hawk changed your life.
You're
I'm
right.
guessing the hair makes sense to me
Things
now.
easily changed my life. That's the moral of the story. Fling
Right.
2 gummy bears
It's
my
like
way, I might be living in
milestones.
Pakistan next year. You know what I mean?
Right, yeah. It makes a lot of sense. Have you done anything with, you were just like, fuck plumbing, I'm done. I learned a trade, I learned a skill, I'm going to go deal with t-shirts now.
Yeah, well, my dad was a printer from growing up my whole life. So I was always in his, not a screen printer, he was an offset printer.
Okay.
He used big presses and print magazines and stuff. And I would always spend a lot of time in the shop that he was working at. And I would know everything that's going on. And I was like, I don't want this life. This is not the life that I want. A lot of chemicals, a lot of terps. a lot of inks and stuff and
Mm-hmm.
loops and yeah, I didn't want that. I just wanted to do music. And yeah, funny how life worked. I was always
Yeah.
around printing, knew about it, but never called myself a printer until recently.
Right. Jordy, I mean, you kind of just got into it too for like the art side of it and whatnot too, right? Like
Yeah.
were you on a trajectory to do something else and then fell into printing, or?
I mean, I was managing coffee shops for like years. I was like a career barista. That was like the goal.
Makes sense.
I was like, if I don't manage my own, I'm gonna make my own. Or that was like kind of always the thing. And that's even kind of how Days started, where I was like, I want a coffee shop and I'm gonna call it Days. And that was kind of the kickoff. And then it turned into a print shop because it was I don't know, it was easier to get that started.
But the truth is that now that you have a foothold in the screen printing, I mean, you're younger in a business as far as the screen printing stuff. And
Yeah.
Angel, I don't know, like where you're at with this, but do you guys ever feel like you want to do a side project of something like that? Like you could easily make a coffee shop now and you have the
Mhm.
branding knowledge and stuff to be like, well, I have this business that makes me money, but I have this other business I'm starting that I can use this one to fuel this one. Because like, Jordy mentioned the whole like coffee thing. Like I've said this for a couple of years now, but like I really want to do a beverage thing. Like I really want to do, originally it was thinking like craft sodas or something, because I was always into those. Every time I travel somewhere, I try like a bottled soda because they're all different all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
But I drink iced tea my entire life. And I'm like, I need to not drink soda, because if I get into a soda company, I'm going to be drinking a lot of soda. So now I'm looking really heavily into like iced tea. Like I want to make my own like canned or bottled
Fuck yeah.
iced tea. So I'm looking into it, man. Like I'm trying to figure out where to like resource the tea and all this other stuff. So
Yeah, that's
I mean,
a
We've
great
been
idea.
actually looking at adding coffee to our lineup. We've had a couple kind of business transactions that we've been trying to make. There was a shop for sale that we put an offer in. Still haven't actually heard back from them, but we were trying to actually get a little coffee thing going, as well as been talking with a roaster for getting like a Days Printing coffee like subscription service, and you'd be able to order like screen printer coffee, keep it in stock for all your employees and stuff like that.
it's full of chemicals.
Yeah, it's just ink. Actually, it's not even coffee.
It's just
brown,
screen
dried
opener.
ink.
Like you just take coffee grounds and you spray
Especially
screen
those
opener.
ground screens, ground
Yeah.
aluminum frames.
It's just scrap
That's it.
T-shirts in a bag. But yeah, that's like been
Full
our like
aluminium.
that's been our project. We've been wanting to, because that's always been my thing. Is like I want to add coffee. Like coffee's been the thing forever. So we've been trying to slowly slip that in. I mean, you guys probably saw the ink videos where we printed with coffee ink. So we've been doing kind of a mix of ways that we can implement that into this business.
I wonder if you could. Have you ever heard? I'm going to botch this, but there's a one. I want to say it's in like a Hawaii or something, where they use the certain soil is a certain color and they dye the shirts that color. I want to say it's like dirt shirts or something, where they have like a red soil and they have these washing machines that they're dyeing all their like tees this like orangey brown color. And then that's their thing. It's like people buy them because it's like they're dyed with the earth, basically.
Yeah.
You could just make coffee dyed tees and then just start printing all your designs on these coffee shirts. And then
everyone gets
think of
brown
all the
shirts,
coffee
that's
shops
it.
would want to buy your stuff because they're coffee dyed tees.
Oh yeah, we've done 2 batches of the coffee ink for tote bags. We did one for Stillable Coffee down in Chico, and then we did one for Lone Pine here in Bend. Both came out sweet. Both smell really good. Dyeing the shirts, we've done that before. I've tie-dyed with the coffee before. Works pretty
Keep
well.
doing it.
Like you can get a good color out of it.
Yeah.
It'd be fun to have them as like in stock. Like I just have like inventory of
Yeah.
coffee dyed shirts. in
Sell
the
them
back
to a shop. Yeah.
with all our extra space.
Or wait till it rains and start sucking on the t-shirt. Pause. Like just, if you're
There you
short
go.
coffee, you know what I mean?
That's the shtick,
that's
is
the-
you can just buy a bottle of water and like use your own shirt and
Just-
suck on it for
Yeah.
caffeine in the morning.
A little Camelback.
Just seeing people like this all day long, like just chewing on their
Yeah,
collar.
correct. Yeah, that's a market.
So you go to AS Color, and then what happens there? Like, what inspires you to do something else?
that's a good question. So I was managing some retail shops for them for about 4-ish years, and throughout those 4 years, I got to know all the printers in the area. Everyone in Sydney, especially, is very tight knit. All the printers know and love each other, and I used to always send them to some printers, and the printers would go like, "Hey, can you stop sending me somebody that just wants 2 units or just wants 5?
Right.
Because we, preferably send me 50 plus." So they keep asking like, "Hey, do you know where I can get?" And they'd come into AS Color like fucking sweating, right? Going like, "I need a t-shirt today. Like, I will pay anything to get a t-shirt today." I started going like, "Damn, what if I could do the print like out back in the shop and just take their money now and do the print?" So I asked AS Color, and I was like, "Hey, if I get a printer and I put it in the back of the shop, are you okay with that?" And they're like, "Definitely not, because we rather support our printers and we don't want to be the people printing, right? We don't want to take the work away from our printers." They care a lot about printers and the people that got them to the dance.
Yeah, I mean, that makes a lot of sense. I mean, AS Color is like the big brand there, right? Like that's where
AS
they're
Color
from.
is the biggest in Oceania as a whole. Yeah. I'd say they dwarf Gildan, just because like everyone fucks with them, man. I have nothing but the absolute best things to say about AS Color, especially being someone that was on the inside working there. You can see through all the weeds, and you can see through all the dusty cracks and stuff like that, and everyone's just the shit. Like, yeah,
that's great. It's good to hear.
Nothing bad I can say, but
I have nothing bad to say about them at all. I just don't really use them a lot, and I think a lot of that was because I'm on the East Coast, and they were primarily in California.
Yeah.
And then recently they got some warehouses over here. I say recently, but it was probably a couple of years ago now. But I had my first AS Color rep show up here like 2 weeks ago. And the dude's awesome. He's from like Brooklyn. He comes in, shows me all this stuff, and I was like, "Dude, I like your guys' stuff, but I just, to be completely honest, I only sell it when a customer asks for it. Because I'm ordering primarily from like SNS, so like I don't ever order mill stuff unless I have to, which is funny too, because Christina said that you guys don't really have
we don't
distributors
have anything like that. So there's no privilege of having like a SNS or Alpha Broder or something like that. That just doesn't exist. So at the end of every day,
everything direct.
I order everything direct, and I add everything to cart, and I have to go 2 smalls, 4 mediums, 6 larges, and I go 2 smalls, 4 mediums, 6 larges, and I add it to cart. And if I fuck up, the whole thing goes to shit. I can't blame it on somebody else. It's all me. Right. It's all on shopping.
We can fuck that up on SNS too. No, don't be.
Yeah, I thought, because I know that people can like send a PO, right, and then they just fulfill the PO. Is that not a thing, or do you have to add it to the cart as well?
But
yeah, I've always just ordered per piece online. I know you can. Like I've done it before with TSC when I used them forever ago. That I would just email her a PO and she would order it for me. But that was when I was a lot smaller and it wasn't a big deal. Now we're ordering, like 10 grand worth of shit at a time. And it's like, I don't want to send that to a rep and just be like, hope for the best. Yeah. Like we'll see it when we get here.
Yeah.
You can start using the automation with DGI and Printavo too, where it does the auto fulfill in the cart. You can build the carts automatically.
Yeah. I don't use Printavo either. So, I'm one of the.
Bro, what do you use? A chisel and a stone?
Yeah. I just write everything on this notepad and hope for the best.
On that skateboard, you just kind of.
I've talked about this on here. I've talked about this on here a bunch of times, and there's all these people that use all this softwares and everything else. I have nothing bad to say about any of them. I've tried some of them. They have all these automations, whatever. But like, we've done the same system here forever, and it works. And that's the thing is like, Printavo or something could come in and be like, hey, this is our product. Let's set you up with the whole thing, do this whole thing. And I'm like, yeah, but what I'm using isn't broke. Like I have no complaints at all. Like it's more like, hey, here's this system that could benefit you in this way. But I'm like, yeah, I have no issues though. Like everyone here knows exactly what to do. There's no hiccups. There's no, well, we can't do this because of this. It's just how it works for us.
Yeah.
And we're basically like the order flow is like, someone emails us and says, hey, I want a quote. We give them the pricing. They're like, cool, make me an invoice. I go on FreshBooks. I write the invoice. I go in Photoshop. I make the mock-up. I do all the stuff in there. I email them the PDF from FreshBooks and the PDF from the mock-up, and I email it to them, and I say, here's the payment link on our website. They pay it. Both are approved. It's all paid in full.
Mm-hmm.
We fucking print the job. We add it to our Google Calendar, which looks exactly like Printavo's calendar, which is funny as far as like color code and stars for like things being burned and all this other stuff. And then the fucking job goes out. That's the end of it. Like, I have no need for all this other stuff. And the thing that I'm hearing from a lot of people that use like Printavo and stuff is like, that's all well and good what I'm doing, but like if I had 5 departments, if I had screen printing and engraving and embroidery and all this, like that's where it would get muddy, because I'd have a calendar for each of them and there'd be shit all over the place and whatever. So I mean, what I got works. So again, the downside is that I don't have like a, this thing where I can auto order from Printavo to DGI and whatever. Like, I have an ordering guy who basically, I say, hey, that invoice paid. He goes in and orders what's on the invoice.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I don't know. It works for me. I love it. If anyone ever wants to ask me about it, ask me. I have no issues with it. And I pay next to nothing a month. I pay like $100 for FreshBooks.
That's what I'm jealous of. I want to pivot backwards a little bit.
Well, I mean, I'm not trying to knock Printavo in any way. Again, great people, great service, whatever. But it's like, some of these services are like $400 or $500 a month or whatever.
Expensive.
And it's
fellas.
like, again, I'm not trying to knock anything, but it's like, are you using all of the services on that thing? Like, are you taking advantage of the whole product, or are you just doing like, hey, I'm making invoices and sending things and getting paid? Then it's like, do you need that service?
I mean, we were using Square up until January of this year.
Same.
We did everything through Square, and it did work pretty well. I mean, there weren't really a lot of issues, like $35 a month. Pivoting
Right.
Printavo has had in a lot of beneficial things like automated work orders and things like that you just print off and easy to like delegate tasks. But it does, I mean, it's a hefty monthly expense. And when you add that on top of all the other things you're paying for, your domain, website, marketing, all that, it's like it adds to the overhead. So it is, I don't know. I've thought about going back and simplifying it again. So I don't know. I'm not fully
it's
sold
like
still.
and Angel, are you using what service are you using right now? You said you're using Square, but are you using something else now?
I was using Square and Trello, like a mix of, similar to Mondays and ClickUp and stuff. Now we use a service called Hoops, which is made by an Australian guy, and it's essentially like Printavo, just not as expensive. It's like $100 USD, and they get their invoices through there. They approve their mockups through there. We schedule the jobs through there. So everything is done within the browser, and automations, emails are sent through there. Text messages are sent through there. Customers can leave comments on the jobs. You send your POs through there as well. Everything that you need to do, period, is through Hoops. The only issue is they love to go like, we released a feature, and then you're like, sick, let me try this out. And you're like, this doesn't work. And then they just turn around and they're like, look, everybody, we released a feature. And you're like, but it doesn't work. And they're like, but we released it. And you're like, that doesn't count if it doesn't work. So yeah, I constantly have to battle back and forth with them to just be like, yo, this doesn't work, or there's a bug in here, or there's this and that. So
I feel like that's every one of those software companies, though.
Correct.
Like I always see the same thing with Printavo or all these other ones, where it's like, to their credit, they're trying to make something that works for the masses, and all of us fucking punk rock screen print shops are all doing things differently.
Yeah,
and they're like, why doesn't it do this? It's like, well, fucking 95% of the people that are using this don't do it the way that you do it.
Yeah.
So suck it up. Like, try to maybe move in the way that we're moving if you want to use this product. So, but that Hoops one is an Australian company.
So that's So Brad is the owner is from Brisbane. He runs his own print shop, and he built it off of his own print shop's functions.
Nice.
Listen, the I can't fault the system. At this point, it's made so much more streamlined, and it's so simple to use. I think just their largest fault is that they never actually look sort of after the bugs, which causes a lot of headache on our end. If you flick the mouse a certain way, the price will go down to 0, and then if you send that off, then the customer's playing 0, and you're like, that's a decent sized bug, and they're like, that's a feature. And you're like, how is this a feature? This is crazy. Like, I feel like I'm being gaslit into believing that this is great.
You need this.
And this, again, this is why I like the system that I have. Like, it's not broken. It works.
Yeah.
And if anything really happens in a negative way, it is always our fault because there is no system. So, I mean, again, we make the invoice. We use Google Calendar. We use Google Drive for all of our artwork. I can pull up the calendar and get the artwork on my phone, on anybody's phone, as long as they're shared and logged in. And that's it.
I mean, one of the coolest things about Hoops specifically is that when you add something to the invoice, you can select, like, obviously you could just type in staple and it pulls up the entire catalog and it selects staple tee from AS Color specifically. And it has all the colors built in, all the prices built in, and when you select that
cool.
T-shirt, it shows up with the correct T-shirt and the color on the invoice. You know what I mean? And then so they can actually physically see the garments that they're getting in the colors that they come in from the manufacturer specifically, not like a generic, I don't know, vector image.
Yeah, we like in FreshBooks we had to do basically, because it's not made for screen printing, it's just an invoice system. It's basically online QuickBooks before QuickBooks was online. We just had to make every line item. Like we go through and add, like Bella 3001 CVC, and then we have the the weights and everything of it below it. So now all we have to do is type in like 3001, and then like the 3001 CVC pops up. We click it.
Yeah, sick.
It's got like the whole thing. We type in small black, and then we do another line item of medium black, whatever. So I mean, I don't know. It's pretty cool, but
if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, it's just do what works for you is the answer. Like you might not need to dive into a $500 a month thing. Just try something else first and see if it works for you.
And we didn't even need to. We were using the ClickUp Square thing, and that worked perfectly. And then ClickUp's like, we hooked you guys up. We gave you an update and changed everything in the entire system overnight, and you can't switch back. But this is for you. This is a hookup, and you're like, my entire business operates differently now. This is crazy, and that's why we had to leave. It's because of the built-in hookup.
That's how I feel with like, I mean, everyone uses Gmail for the most part. And if you don't, I don't know what the hell you're doing. If you're using Yahoo or Hotmail or some shit, you're a fucking weirdo. Those people that still have AOL.com emails still.
Yeah.
But like they'll change that once in a while. And I'm like, no, go back. Like I want the old look. Like I don't want all this promotional and all this other, like I want it the way it was. Please go back. Yeah. Get rid of this shit. The nice thing I do like about those systems though is they do have some automations that I don't have, like the whole putting all that stuff together. I like I think I could be wrong here. The integration, I think it's like Twilio or whatever, where you can send text messages to the customer. I think that rules. But I think that's, again, like you could use Twilio separately. With your on your own,
Twilio,
and just do that.
You could do Twilio, Zapier, FreshBooks, Gmail, and you'd still be spending at most like $250 a month, and you could just build all those automations yourself to work. That's with a real
OP setup right there.
Yeah, I agree.
You could probably do it in a week.
So you're an AS Color. Somebody's walking in and says, "I want 2 shirts," and you're like, "Fuck, we're missing out on business."
Yeah, well, that's
what
the
happens?
thing. So this is around the time that COVID just hit, especially to Australia specifically. So we started locking down. I don't know about you guys, but we started like everybody had to stay home. And then we're like, man, we should find a way to service these customers. So we decided to do a lot of research into DCG printing. Again, I already knew a lot of the printers in the area. So I was asking them, how do you...
You're saying we as in AS Color starts looking into it?
My wife and I. Sorry.
Okay.
My bad. So AS Color wants absolutely nothing to do with it. My wife and I start looking at printers, DCG printers and things like that. We find one that we like, we play around with it, we get it, we use it. And then when people come into AS Color and they're like, I need a t-shirt today, I'm like, check this girl out. Boom. That's my wife's card. And then they would go to her. I would sell them the t-shirt direct from AS Color. They'd run over to her, she'd print it, and they'd be super happy. And they'd come back to my shop and be like, oh, the girl that you sent me to is amazing. She got it done. Like, so happy. Thank you so much. You saved my life. Great. And then we're like, we could actually make this into a business of just doing things same day, small run. So then that's where Halo was born, the small run. So we specialize in, one-off t-shirt same day.
At that time, you were doing this out of your home?
Out of our living room. Yeah, out of our living room.
Okay. So at what point do you take that to, I mean, now you have a beautiful space. Like that's one of the things that like make me want to watch you is the space you guys have and what you're
Mhm.
showing and doing. So it's a really cool retail location.
Thank you. Yeah, we once customers, too many people started coming to the house, it was a bit
Which is
uncomfortable.
weird. Yeah.
Yeah, because they're like, "Oh, I'm here to collect my shirt from Halo Print Co." And you're like, "On the elevator down, my man. Be there real
Yeah.
soon. Just hang out next to concierge." And then after a while, we're like, "Okay, we need a retail shop." So we moved on to one of Sydney's most bustling streets. It's called King Street. It's just like full of vintage shops and all the real fun stuff. If you've been to like Williamsburg and Brooklyn, it's the same thing. It's like Bedford Ave. And
Nice.
so we moved to King Street, and the whole neighborhood welcomed us with open arms, kind of right next to a tattoo shop and like a punk rock barber shop. And that was an absolute blast. We were there for about 3 years. We had our DTG machine, we had everything in there, and it was like the size of a shoebox. It was really, really small. And yeah, we ended up
How is the
being there for a little while.
like the economy of Australia? Like, is it everything's expensive as shit? Like getting a space to rent like that was a huge investment,
Yeah.
or was it like, oh, cool, we're welcome, things are manageable? Like,
It's really expensive. If you consider it's everything's the same as New York. That's the only thing I can compare it
Okay.
to because it's the only place I lived in. But
right.
everything's the same in terms of pricing. Minimum wage,
So for
on the
those
other
of you
hand, is
those of
very
you who are
high.
listening who aren't in New York, when we say New York, we just mean expensive as shit.
Correct. Yeah. LA, New York, Miami, wherever expensive place
Right.
you want to put in there. Minimum wage is pretty high here. I think it's $24 an hour.
Damn.
So everyone gets paid a lot more, but everything costs a lot more as well. So it kind of evens out.
Right.
I'd say your average fair living wage is $65K a year here, which equates to American dollars maybe around 50K, maybe around 48, something like that, because of the exchange
Mhm.
rate. Yeah, and we surprisingly only paid, which is really, really cheap, depending on where you got rent prices where you guys are at. But we only paid $400 a week for our shop, which was a matchbox. It was tiny, but $400 a week on King Street is like unheard of, right? It's
funny that you say per week, because I don't think I've ever heard anybody describe their rent as a weekly basis.
Yeah, we pay
But I
per
mean,
week here.
it helps us. It helps me like be like, I could get $400 a week in sales to cover rent. You know what I mean? But if you put it in the context of like 400 times 4,
Yeah,
and you're like,
yeah,
oh, I have
$1,600
I have
a month.
$1,600 a month. You're like, fuck, I had $1,600 a month. But if you're like, well, 400, I could do $400 a week. Like that's no
Yeah,
problem.
yeah.
You're
It's
just doing
kinda
girl
nice.
math right now.
Yeah,
You're like, well,
exactly.
per day that's this. So
Yeah, exactly. And we were
I mean,
freaking
that's like
out.
3
That's-
coffees.
That's 20 grand a year, right? So it's
3
20 grand a
coffees.
year. And we were freaking out about 20 grand a year because we didn't know if it was going to work out. You know what I mean? You're
Right,
just going
right.
like, at least we have a 20 grand promotional shop front, that people might know who we are. And in
Right.
about a year after that, we realized like, fuck, this is a bit too small for us. And we stayed for another 2 years.
Yeah, but you
moved into
think
a
you got to
bigger
think with that
warehouse.
space, you built a name, right? Like people
Correct.
knew who you were and everything. And I think that's the huge trade off. Like I have that because I'm in the middle of nowhere. Like I'm in New York, but I'm in upstate New York. Like I'm in
Yeah.
the trees and lakes, and like I'm nowhere near anything.
Mhm.
But the thing is like the trade off with people. Like my whole business model revolves around building a name nationally and internationally and shipping all over the world. Like I have to, because I can't live on local. Like if I had the same shop in downtown New York City or something, it'd be different because I could live off of just New York City alone. Like there's more than enough business. I could just promote local. Everyone knows my name. They come in, whatever. Like
Mhm.
I don't have that here. So I have to build a name on the internet basically
Mhm.
and have people come here. So you get to build a name. Like you're paying that premium $400 a week to
You don't want to know what I'm
build a
paying now.
name.
It's
Well, we'll get there. I'm just saying that like you got to think you're not paying what I'm trying to say is like if say I was paying something expensive for where I am here, I'm not getting the added benefit of promotion. Like, I'm not just paying rent.
Yeah.
Like if I was just paying for a place to be and there was no benefit to it,
Mhm.
that sucks if it's
Mhm.
really high. But you got to think you're paying $400 a week, but in reality, your marketing budget could be, well, 200 of that 400 I'm paying is my promotional budget because
Yeah.
so many people are seeing me.
Mhm.
So you got to think about it that way too.
Yeah,
So
for
anyway, you grew out of the shoebox. What happens next?
We
How locked
quickly
in
moved
were you
in.
to that shoebox? Like, were you was it like a year lease? Like, were you like pieces or
Yeah,
chunks
so
of
we
time?
did
Was
a
it kind of
year.
month to month, week by week?
We did a year with an option for 3. So we
Oh, cool.
had a year, and we can lock in that same price for another 2 years to make it a total of 3 years with that
That's
same
sweet.
$400 a week. It's awesome. My wife is a pro negotiator when it comes to all those things, and she listed all the things that we needed, and that was part of
Hell
it.
yeah.
So good for her. I'll take all the credit.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, and
So shoebox to what?
Shoebox 2, we made friends with another printer down the road called Bottega Made, and they did all screen printing in-house, all that jazz, and we were doing primarily digital, and they had the whole top of their warehouse free, so they had 2 entire floors. They were on the first floor. We decided to move into the second floor. I know, awkward, literally 2 print shops competing with each other, being in the exact same space, sharing customers. So there'd be some customers that like went to them, then decided to go to us, but they're coming to the same place where they picked their last order up to go with the next.
Yeah, but you were
like,
primarily doing digital, correct? Like you
primarily
weren't
doing
any
digital.
screen-
Correct. Yeah.
Were
yeah,
you doing
primarily.
any other printing types or just digital?
Just digital because of our client base and how everyone wanted one T-shirt same day. So primarily digital. Yeah.
So I mean, the nice thing about that is they could benefit from it too. Like if they had a customer who needed digital, they could send them to you or outsource to you, and then same
Correct,
for you.
which
Like
is
you could have
exactly
someone that's
what
like,
we're doing.
"Hey, I need 100 shirts."
Mhm.
Well,
Yeah.
it doesn't make sense for me to sit here on DTG all day long.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So that's exactly what we were doing. I would go downstairs, use the screen print equipment. They'd come upstairs, use my digital equipment. And it was one big happy family. I
Right.
had a blast. It was like being in a frat house. It was just the best time all
That
of the
rules.
time.
Yeah.
It was just a shit. Like the sports are on TV all the time. Good music's blasting. They used to get like a cook in to make food for everybody. And it was just like, it's literally the power of 2 print shops just mashed together into one big print shop.
Right.
And then, yeah, we quickly realized like it's really hard to have the retail shop and the warehouse. So we had both of them at the exact same time. And then when people would
Oh,
go
so you
there-
didn't move out?
No.
You-
We expanded.
Oh, okay.
And I would have to run the orders back and forth from the retail shop to the warehouse all the time, which was like a good 11-minute drive, 12-minute drive. And that just
Damn.
got too tiring. And we realized at one point, like, now we got to fully grow into the next place, which is
Right.
nice big 2-floor retail shop. And that's where we are now. That's how we
Nice.
got here.
So
5
how
years
did you
later.
come across that one?
I was just sitting on the balcony having a J at the end of a long day, and I was like, I just want a nice spot. I don't want it to be warehousey because we're not that kind of screen printer. There's a billion of those around. There's a billion cats where like you go in, music's blasting, tunnel dryer's going, the boys got their shirts off, just pumping out some screen printing stuff. We want it to be a really pristine, clean retail shop. You walk in like Build-A-Bear, you take a shirt off the wall, you can go, I want this printed, and then we just do it for you right then and there, and you leave happy. So the criteria was for it to be on sort of a busy road, clean area, and ideally have a lot of windows. So that's exactly what we found. Just went online, clicked around heaps, and found this perfect space, and was like, I think this is the one. Just right off the bat, before even inspecting it, I was like, I think we're going to move into here. And a couple months later, we did.
Now, please don't take this the wrong way because I don't mean it that way in any sense. How do you differentiate yourself from, and I can tell you just by looking at your stuff, I'm just saying that like there's a lot of places. I always think of like the kiosk in the mall or like for me in Syracuse Mall, there's a store where you walk in, there's just one dude standing behind a heat press and there's like a shitload of like digital stuff he made, or it's like cut vinyl or something. Like you guys are not that. You guys are more, you have artists. You're not just grabbing clip art off the internet.
Yeah, correct.
Or some popular, like, get a Spider-Man shirt or some shit. So, like, how do you elevate something like, okay, you walk in and say, I want a shirt with a giraffe on it. Like, what are you doing?
Well, firstly, we classify ourselves as a boutique. So that's right off the jump in the customer's mind. They walk in with a whole different attitude, because it's not so much if we define ourselves as a kiosk or a fun little shopping retail shop or whatever, but we operate more as a boutique. And for us, we take a more hands-on approach. So when you go to that guy in the mall, he's either waiting for you to give him a file, or he's going to rip something off the internet, and he's just going to do it sort of cheap and nasty and ready to go. And
I
those
think
guys
cheap
are
and
great.
nasty is the what I'm saying is like
Yeah.
there's no welcoming, there's no customer service. It's
Mhm.
just like, oh, you're here to make some stupid shirt and I'll
Yeah.
help you with it.
Yeah, and we're the exact opposite. So we have a drink shop sponsor, shout out Flick, and they we let them hang out at the retail shop. They can get a drink. They can like peruse through some books. They can check out the rest of our work. There's somebody there to take their order who has the time to go like, cool, and do you want this a smidge lower? And they bring out the t-shirt and we start measuring it, and it's a more
Nice.
involved process with them. We have an in-house illustrator as well, so he can come down with his iPad and be like, is this kind of what you're after? No, erase that ear. How about this shape ear? That kind of thing. So it's much more, they're paying an elevated price, but they're getting that in customer service and attention to detail. Also, with that guy from the kiosk,
Right.
if you go back and you're like, hey, this is slightly washed out, he'd probably be like, I don't know what you did, but you'll have to buy another one. With us,
Right.
we
You've
have-
never been here before.
yeah, exactly. I've never seen you.
Right.
And with us, we have an absolutely no questions asked policy. If anything happens to your shirt, you bring it back. I'm just going to print you a brand new one, and you're on your way. There's no, I'm not going to be like, oh, did you use?
Well,
bleach or this or
realistically,
that?
it's not worth it to you. Like what you've got involved in one shirt is the cost of a blank, pretty much, right?
Mhm,
Like,
mhm.
and do
And-
you keep their files?
We do,
Because
Yeah,
I mean
we
that would
keep
be a
everything
lot.
for 5 years.
Okay.
So we have a good 10 terabytes on Google Drive that we use, and yeah, we keep them around for about 10 years.
So that's even easier for you. Say you get the cost of a blank and you grab one off the shelf, you put it on, you load his artwork. There's no like time and redoing anything.
Correct. Yeah.
Hit print, he gets a new shirt, and
And he paid
X-Men.
$90 for that shirt the first time. So that shirt, they're buying not just a t-shirt. They're not just buying the print, because they can get that t-shirt and that print for $30 from the guy at the kiosk. But they're getting the warranty, they're getting the customer service, they're getting the fact that like they don't have to worry about anything at all, period.
Right.
It's just like when you pay that $90, you're gold from like here on out. Listen, if it's 2 years and you're bringing the shirt back going like, it's a bit off, that's a different story. But
right.
for those first year or something, sometimes people come back and they said, I fucked this up myself. I'm so sorry. And I go, no worries. Wait right here. I'll be back down in 15 minutes with your brand
That's
new
a
t-shirt.
customer for life right there.
That's it, my man. That's all. That's the
I
only
like that
game we're playing.
education station you have too, where
Yeah,
you have
thank
like
you,
the
bro.
examples of like faded screen printing, like immediately screen printed DTG. Like I don't know what all you have on that rack, but that video that I saw that you had that, like that's something I want to try and figure out in here of having like old t-shirts, new t-shirts, different blanks. Like here's how a Gildan wears versus an AS Color versus a
Exactly.
Shaka versus a whatever. I think
Exactly.
that's genius because you can explain it all day long. You're like, well, this print's going to crack a little, or this is going to happen. And it's like, well, they're going to hear that and they're like, oh, that sounds shitty. But it's like, no. Like we show you what that looks like. It's going to be a
Yeah,
nice vintage
exactly.
blank. It's going to fade over time. It's going to be the shirt that you want to find in that thrift store 40 years from now. So
Exactly.
I think that's brilliant. That was awesome.
Can you dive into that, Angel, a little bit?
Yeah. So with the education station, we have a couple of sort of laundry dryers set up just for aesthetic purposes. And then it says washed and worn, how to care for your garments. And essentially people can walk up and go, exactly what Jordy was saying. They can pick up a new screen print and go, oh, that hand feels different to this one that's 3 years old and been washed over 150 times. So they can actually see how it looks over time, and even halfway through that, and they can see kind of, you get these cowboys that are like, screen print never cracks and it's just the best, and I can hear them outside of my shop just spewing shit, and and I'll go like, oh, come here, check this out, here's what actually happens. Like, you should look forward to it cracking because it actually looks fucking dope when it does, right? Little things like that. So I'll show them, as well as I have DTG that's been washed over 300 times, and they can see, cool, my DTG doesn't.
Which is like
fade.
a funny argument nowadays that you think about it, because there are so many people, and it's cringe as fuck to me, but it's also, I mean, whatever, people are willing to pay whatever they're willing to pay. There's all these places now and all these websites and eBay and stuff, whatever, where it's like people are paying the most absurd prices for shirts that are beat to shit. Like
Mm-hmm.
literally, a sleeve is missing,
Yeah.
and there's like holes all over.
It's just
Well,
a
because
collar.
it's a Harley Davidson shirt. Yeah, it's just a collar that says Harley Davidson on it, or it
You don't
doesn't even
understand how
say
cool
Harley
that
on it.
shirt is.
It just used to be part of a Harley shirt. Yeah, and it's like $3,000.
Yeah. Yeah.
Imagine how
And
much
it's
that
like
sleeve
it's
costs.
just, dude. Exact. Yeah. Where's the rest of it? This is
I've
treasure.
had people try to offer me money for our 3-year-old used DTG shirt because they went, that's exactly the type of T-shirt that I'm looking for, and I'm like, cool. You're gonna have to put in 3 years worth of work washing your own
It's worth the
shirt
work.
to get that effect. Yeah.
But it's insane to me that the argument, I mean, it's not insane because it makes sense. Like, people want something quality, want whatever, but it's like, it's a huge selling point too to just be like, dude, but this is what it's loved and it's worn and it's yours and it wore that way because you wore it that way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You
It's like,
pull
think
it
about
every time.
I mean, what would you say? You're fucking jazz bassist or something?
Yeah. I guess
That
so.
like, think about if you buy a bass or a guitar or whatever, and you see these guitars that these people have played for forever, like the maple's worn down and the finish is missing. Like, that guitar is so much cooler than one you bought off the shelf because the pick
For
marks
sure.
are like embedded in it. It's worn and beat. But like, people again will pay for that up front. Like, they'll cheat the system and be like, well, I didn't wear this. It just looks cool.
Yeah.
Or it's like people who buy fucking ripped jeans. It's like the
Yeah.
dad thing of going to the Gap and being like, I'm not going to spend $80 on this pair of jeans for my daughter. It's got more holes than jeans.
Yeah. Or vintage
Like-
Carhartt. I mean, not to
Right.
bag on anybody that buys vintage Carhartt. I get it, but I want to earn those little scuffs myself.
Have
know what
you have you ever seen the guy on Instagram who goes with a wad of cash to Home Depot? And he just
And then he buys
walks
it off
by
the
dudes
Mexican
that have
guys?
Carhartt.
Yeah.
Yeah, like there's people that have like a Carhartt on shopping in Home Depot, and he's like, "I will give you $100 for your jacket right now."
Because you can
And they're like,
flip it for
"Okay." They take their
$300.
jacket off. He gives them $100. He goes out into the parking lot, puts it online, sells it for like $600.
Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy.
Like, he literally makes his month's wage in one day at Home Depot.
Crazy. These poor fellas. And then they're out here buying a Walmart jacket after that. It's like,
Right.
Yeah, new car is worth more than $100.
yo, straight
But
up.
that's what I'm saying. It's
Speaking
like
of
some
new
dude-
Carhartt, though, I'm not gonna lie. I just ordered the AS Color canvas jacket, and it is a 1-to-1 Carhartt rip. Mark my words. Quote me. Put it in quotes. Whatever you want. It's a
My sales rep
1-to-1
was trying to get me on
Carhartt rip.
some. I'm pitching it to some
1-to-1.
customers.
1-to-1.
Well, what's the benefit? Is the benefit just because it's got the
It's-
AS Color name, or
No,
is
the
the Carhartt
benefit.
name more?
The benefit is that it. Oh, then again, we're in Australia. Carhartt jackets are about $300 here, so that's around $60, like wholesale price, roughly, give or take.
I mean, I haven't bought a Carhartt jacket in forever. I mean, they don't fit me well. I'm all torso, and Carhartt's one of those brands where like they're shorter.
Yeah, yeah,
You gotta
yeah.
get
Like,
the
it
tall.
would
They
just
sell
be a
Just a
tall.
crop top.
It'd be a Carhartt belly
Crop
shirt
top.
for me.
Yeah, I feel you. Carhartt.
Hey,
bra.
let's talk about this real quick. I don't know if you guys have a problem that I have with having a long torso, but like, there's tall, and then there's just like, they make everything else big too. Like, people are always like, "Oh, just get a tall." I'm like, "Yeah, but if I get a tall, then there's huge sleeves.
Mhm.
Like, I want the same fit up here as every other shirt. I
Mhm.
just want it to be like 3 inches longer.
You need a plumber.
Like, I
problem
don't
is
need it to be
sleeve
3
length.
inches longer, and then the sleeve length is 3 inches longer, or the
Yeah.
neck is huge. Like, I just want a fucking regular ass shirt that's just a little
Big
bit
ass head
longer."
through the.
Right? Like, why you gotta mess with my proportions? Like,
My problem is the sleeve length, though. Like, no
I have
long
to.
sleeves fit
I'm
me
so
well.
picky.
I just have to cuff them. I cuff every long sleeve because I just look like a goofy child who doesn't buy clothes that fit. Like, it like comes.
Why?
to
Because
here.
your
Like,
arms are too long.
Yeah, I just got these gangly little fucking arms, man. Like, it's just my torso. I think proportionally is all right, but my arms are whack.
So SpongeBob arms right there.
Dragging on the
I
ground.
just like.
behind me.
I want something that fits me loose enough where I'm not like the tug guy who's just constantly tugging on my
Yeah,
shirt all the
yeah.
time.
Oh, the TC tuggers.
And I mean, Angel, we're bigger dudes. Like,
Brother.
that's just something we live with.
If the wind blows, it looks like I spray painted myself navy blue. It's crazy.
Right.
It's just you can see what I
It's
ate
never
last
good.
week. Yeah, no,
I know.
it's not.
Yeah,
not
yeah.
good. A plumbing
Which is-
shirt though. Look at plumbing shirts because they're plumbing shirts are the same exact T-shirts, just way
But longer, so
longer,
the crack doesn't
so the
show.
crack don't show. Yeah, exactly.
I know. Yeah, yeah. Well, that was the claim to fame with like Dixon. I don't know if you guys get Dixon in Australia or not, but they have the button-up shirts,
Dixon
and
what?
I have a million of them. And I mean, now it's kind of they're getting into like cringe territory, but like their claim to fame was that he made really well-fitting flannels, but they were always longer because they were meant for motorcycle riders, so that when they're riding, it's not
Oh, right.
ass crack in the back of your back showing. Like they hang down enough where you're covered.
Yeah.
So those fit me perfectly because I had a long torso, and I was like, hell yeah, shirt that a button up that finally fits, and I would wear it all the time. But I don't know. So anyway, I don't even remember what we were talking about. We're talking about AS Color or your shop,
Education
Vintage.
station.
the education station. Those shirts that you're showing off, are those yours? Like something you've worn?
Yeah. Worn and washed by myself. So I know exactly the conditions that they're washed under. There's no cheating there. But what we also do, which is really fun, we're starting to work on a shit T-shirt buyback scheme. So if you've gotten a print from anybody and it's turned to shit, you can bring it in and we'll reprint it for you as Halo, as long as we get to keep the shit T-shirt. And it also print on the T-shirt. No, we're just going to show them off, but we're going to print what on the back. We're going to print like how it got to that point, right? Or like, you know, if it was hot wash, hot dried it for way too long, we're going to print that on the back of the T-shirt. So when people pull it out of the laundry machine, they can see how all the people's shirts fucked up.
I like the idea of you having a vintage store next door that you just buy them all back and then you just put them in a vintage store.
Sifting them through the wall, through the glory
These
hole in
ones
the
are
wall and just rolling up the
$150.
shirts.
I always like companies that have that. And again, we're gonna go off the rails again, and I don't give a shit. But like, it's that whole thing of like how chicken wings were invented, where like they were a throwaway, and then people realized they like chicken wings, and then it was like, okay, cool. Well, I can use the chicken, and now I have a whole separate company that just does chicken wings. And it's like, okay, well, this byproduct is made from this, and it's like, you know, there's one thing that you do, but there's 10 byproducts, and you find out every one of those byproducts is its own industry.
Yeah.
And it's like you could be doing the same thing. You could literally have a spot in your store or next door that just sells vintage T-shirts.
I don't know if anyone
really,
wants a
it's
knitting
part of
Nanas
your
T-shirt
buyback.
though. It's like
Dude,
knitting
you'd
Nanas
be surprised, man.
in a size
It could be a
small
branding issue.
and a yellow T-shirt. Yeah, and it's also like I'm not going to have any consistency with sizes at all. There's not going to be like a large section. It's only ever small old ladies that bring the T-shirts back. We're working on the rest of them, but it's just small old ladies right now.
We did printed vintage for one of our customers, and we did like 6,000 units of all vintage T-shirts of all different things with overprinted shirts, like overprinting the designs and stuff. It was insane getting the sizing to any sort of regulation. We just ripped tags and we just did like chest and length, and just were like, this is the range for small. This is the range all the way up to 3XL. It was so much work, but it did well. They sold a lot of units.
We had a guy a little while ago that was like, hey, I buy all these shirts at the thrift store, and I just want you to print my brand over directly on top of the print and the other thing. And I was like, nah, dude, like that sounds like shit sticking to the flash or to like melting it. Like, how do I say this nicely? Have you ever done a live print where someone takes the shirt off their back and hands it to you, and you print it, and then you run it through the dryer, and it just smells like hot that guy?
Yeah.
That's what our shop smelled like for months. It was terrible.
Everyone's looking around.
Yeah, it's like this just smells like this dude's BO now. Like this is his sweat is in this
grandma's house. Like,
right. That's not
bad.
We charge more for BYO garments just because of that same issue. If I run a BYO garment through the tunnel dryer, the whole shop smells like 18 people ate 18 different lunches at the exact same time. It's real bad.
We did fleece the same way. The sweatshirts were the worst. Those were stinky. It was smoky too. It was just like steamy hot mess. It was bad.
It was Manhattan, essentially. You just turn your...
I feel like I had a long conversation about this with Jared from Rockford Art Deli, because he had that free T-shirt day or whatever. where he
Y'all
has
have all
everyone in
been
the
doing
community
that.
come and they buy a shirt and they print it right there in front of them and all this other stuff. But yeah, he's like, we kind of had to dial back the whole, take a shirt off your body kind of thing because it just got disgusting. And I was like, yeah, that's
Sweaty shirts.
it's one thing to bring a shirt that you washed, but it's another thing to take it off your body.
To run
Right
to
then
the
and there.
shop and then take the shirt off
Be
your
like,
body
oh, you're
after
ready
the
to print
run.
this now? Take it off.
I just
print
ran a
it,
marathon
and then
this
put it
morning. Can I
back
use
on.
this one?
Yeah.
But it was funny that you guys were talking about this education station thing because I had that recently where we're trying to figure out, the best way to market like DTF stuff. And the biggest thing is people are always like, oh, what's the washability and what's the feel after X amount of washes, whatever. So I had made a shirt a while ago that was this Balrog thing, and it's online. I wore it to our happy hour in Long Beach actually, and it's been beautiful. It's just white ink on a black shirt. Well, I say white ink, but it's a DTF print. And I've worn that thing probably 100 times, washed it 100 times, whatever, and the print still looks great. Recently I just wanted to replace it, and I told them, I was like, I'm just going to take this shirt that I have currently at the house, bring it here, put it on the shelf, and be like, this is what it looks like, dude, after X amount of washes. So what are your different offerings then? Is everything the same because it's all DTG, or are you offering DTF? Are you offering any screen printing?
We do, contrary to popular belief, we do screen printing in-house as well, some small runs. I never posted on the internet because there is 1.5 billion people posting screen printing stuff. And there's only so many ways that you can see a carousel moving or a squeegee going down the board. So I'm like, I might as well. Notice we don't actually post any content of printing in general because it's just like they actually don't care about that. Sorry, my clients don't end up caring about that. We're going for
you
more
can say that. You can say that because
it's usually printer porn that people are trying to make, and I'm not.
Yeah,
trying to
you're
appeal
making
to
it for
printers.
other printers.
Yeah, I'm not doing that. I'm trying to just appeal to my clients in general, not other printers. So that's why we don't do it. But we got screen printing, we have embroidery, we have DTG and DTF on that education station, so they could see how each of them feel new in the middle of its life and then really beat up. And usually, most of the time, they go like, "Oh, if this is how it feels after 3 years and really beat up, then yeah, sure, I'll get this thing."
Right.
Nice, which is pretty, and especially comparing DTF to screen printing, because the first thing they go is like, "Is that a sticker?" And then you're like,
right,
I fucking guess so. Maybe, I don't know. Like, how do you want me to answer this?
Sticker.
Because at the end of the day, a screen print transfer, you can arguably say that that's maybe a sticker as well. You know what I mean? So it's like it's the similar thing. But when they feel the difference and they go, "Oh, this is DTF and this is screen printing, and I can just get this quality if I just get one," then sure, I'm just going to get one of this. DTF's come along.
So I'm not going to hold you to this and not say this is the way or anything, but like in your opinion, with those wash shirts, which one's the premium option? Like, is the screen printing holding up better than the digital? Is holding up better than the DTF?
It's really subjective, solely because how do you want the hand feel to go? Or I like the really rough. Like when screen print cracks and it starts to almost like lift up at the edges and you get that real, like if you rub it too fast, you'll get cut. I like that feeling, right? But you know what I'm saying?
Heard it described like that. I know what you're saying.
Yeah, it's like a really gnarly grit sandpaper that where the grits are really far space apart. But so I personally like that feeling. But in my testing, it seems like the latest rounds of DTF are holding up just as well, if not slightly better to screen printing. Better, subjective in terms of cracking.
Everything's subjective.
Specifically, yeah. But I like the really rough, cracked hand feel of screen printing. I just synonymous with old skate brands and things.
Yeah, it's tricky to quantify what premium means, because we were talking about how like people want these like worn and distressed shirts, and with the DTF, they do tend to, when properly applied, especially the more modern options, they aren't really cracking or peeling, and the print itself looks exactly the same every single time you wash it, as long as you're not being too aggressive with it. So that could be premium, where it's like it looks the same 70 washes later as it did the day I printed it, as opposed to screen printing is going to fade and crack. And if you're going to be doing discharge versus plastisol versus just HSA water-based, like they're all going to age differently. And it depends on what your opinion is of premium. Is it how durable it is, and if it looks the same as day one as day 365, or do you want it to fade and age? Is that more premium? I think it kind of depends it probably depends on the artwork also. I mean, there's so many variables, and it's all subjective.
Big variables in the artwork side as well, which is, it makes it that much harder to sell, because you just realize, like, if you tell someone, hey, if you have 0 breaks in your artwork and there's no negative space for the t-shirt to come through, even if you screen print it, it's going to feel like hot garbage. So it doesn't, just because you're screen printing it doesn't mean that it's going to feel any better. So I think everything boils down to the artwork. It's like,
Oh, definitely.
90% of the way the print feels boils down just to the artwork.
Yeah. And back to your point of the, a solid mass versus having breaks in it for the t-shirt. That's the same reason why they put lines in concrete, like sidewalks and stuff, is because it gives it a natural spot to break if it needs to, instead of just being this fucking mess.
I didn't know that, actually. Thanks for teaching me that. That's cool. I'm going to use it.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, like, instead of like a sheet of something, they break it up. It's the same with like a chocolate bar. Like, I learned this recently. I listened to... Yeah, I learned this recently from the Mr. Beast chocolate thing. Was it Feastables or whatever?
Feastables, yeah. Shout out
yeah,
Feastables.
He was talking about how when he first made his candy bar, he made them solid. Like, it was just a brick of chocolate. But then they would all be broken when a customer got them. Like, they'd be shattered. And he was like, I was losing millions of dollars because I was paying people to go into Walmart and all these places to go in and find the broken ones and pull them out and buy them from Walmart so that customers wouldn't come in and buy a broken candy bar.
Jeez.
He's like, so then we had to redo the whole thing. And he found out that's why, like, Hershey's does all these, segmented lines, because when it breaks on one of those lines, and people don't really care if it's broken on one of those lines because it's almost more natural. But if you get a candy bar and it's just shattered, you're like, well, this is a fucking hot garbage mess. Like, I don't want this.
It was interesting because he was having two problems there too, where it was the bars were breaking, but also the way that his packaging was. After you grabbed
the packaging was fucked,
a couple bars, the bars would tip and fall, and then they would all shatter completely. Right. So it was like this double whammy where he didn't prep for them to be able to fall, and then also the packaging failed.
That whole episode was great. Like, it made me really, I never really cared that much, but it made me respect that guy a whole lot when he got deep into that episode talking about stuff. But anyway, that's the reason why, like, I don't like the argument for screen print shops or any print shop to say, oh, we're a sole water-based shop and this is the best style of printing and this is the best everything. Yeah, well, hey, fuck
literally okay, fine. Literally okay, fine.
I'm saying, for me personally, is because I think that the artwork should dictate, and the customer should dictate how that job is printed. Because again, you might think, I've talked about this before, but you might think that contractor who is putting roofs on homes comes in is just he's just going to want a safety green shirt with black plastisol on it. But the truth of it is like, he would benefit way more from having a black water-based print on it, because that shirt's going to be able to breathe now. His logo is a fucking circle. It's like a 12-inch circle on the back of his shirt. If that's plastisol, we're putting a plastic 12-inch circle on the back of his shirt, and that dude's going to sweat like a motherfucker. But if we do black water-based, it's going to breathe and it's going to whatever. But then again, that same thing, I mean, from being in New York or whatever, like, New York hardcore people like that thick plastisol feel. They feel like they're cheapened out.
Yes.
If they were to get a thin, soft print. And we've had that before. We've had a biker gang order shirts from us before. And again, I thought at the time, like, oh, we're going to give them a premium. Like, we're going to do this, like, discharge white print on the shirt, and they're going to be soft. These guys are going to love this. And they were literally pissed. They were like, what is this cheap bullshit? No, he's like, I can't feel the print. And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, I want it to be like, they're thinking the thicker the print, the more quality, the more I got my money's worth, basically. It's the same reason why they weigh down like remotes and stuff, because it feels cheap if it's light. So it's like they put weight in it so that you're like, oh yeah, I got what I paid for. This is heavy.
I mean, it's even the difference between a lightweight and a heavyweight shirt too, where it's like, to me, a heavyweight shirt feels premium and feels like a quality tee, but some people want that CVC really thin, what I think is awful t-shirt, because it feels like you can see my nipples too much, and I'm hairy and you can see it. It's terrible. Like, I want something thick.
So all I'm learning is that you have long, gangly fucking arms that you
can see your nipples.
Your nipples are just fucking doorstops.
Gigantic. Just udders. We might as well call them udders at this point.
Right. All 4 of them.
All 6, actually. I've been collecting them.
You're like a cat. But anyway, dude, yeah, that threw me off thinking about Jordy's 6 cat nibbles. What was I talking about now? Oh, the fact is that, you know, the whole, and that's the whole argument with this DTF stuff and with this digital printed stuff and whatever, is that the customer walking through the door has a way that they want something made, and it's our job as an educated, you know, customer service and print shop is to be like, well, what is the end goal? Like, what is it that you guys are looking for? Like, are you looking for this photograph to come to life? It's like, okay, cool. Well, let's do this digital print. Oh, you're looking for a thick, hardcore, bold fucking Bane shirt? It's like, okay, cool. Let's do plastisol where we might do a thicker film, or let's do a whatever. Or, hey, I want this like soft artistic whatever. And it's like, okay, cool. Let's do a water base or a discharge or something.
I found that using the word feel, like not just in the way the shirt feels, but also like, how do you want, like you ask your customer, your client for like a wholesale order, how do you want your customers to feel? And what, like, have them describe just their opinions and thoughts on the shirt, because they don't know what discharge versus plastisol versus water-based versus, and even if they're a little educated, they're not going to get it. So you need to find the words that make sense to them, like chunky print, soft hand feel, things like that. They can kind of start to piece together. But even further than that, like just try to break down the way that they're describing what they want and ask them what they want. Don't assume.
Well, Angel would walk in and say, "I want that print that's old and worn, where it feels like it's going to cut your finger."
Then
I know
with the razor blades.
I know I want it to be like, you know, something with a heavy EOM where it's like, oh, I'm putting down a lot of ink. You know what I mean? I'm printing with a 110 here.
Yeah, imagine explaining EOM to a customer that doesn't screen print.
Like, they don't. No
it's
idea.
Chinese.
Go ahead.
I had someone do 7 passes on a 110 for just like on a jumper,
density.
just because that's exactly what I wanted. Like 7,
Right.
7 print flash, to the point that it was like high density, and it was so scratchy, and it was the greatest. And he asked me, please never make me do that ever again, because he did it on a manual as well, and it was just for one jumper, my own, and yeah, that's like how I want every single screen print that I wear to feel. I just want.
And
it to
I'm
feel
not.
high
I'm not
density.
an embroidery guy, but like I'm noticing more and more that, and I, you know, Christina will be with me, and we'll go to the mall or something, or we'll go somewhere. And my daughter just bought a shirt at what's that place called? I can't remember now. Anyway, we went to the store in the mall, and she got this Adventure Time hoodie, and it was like the whole sleeve was embroidered, and it wasn't like thin lines. It was like thick stuff, like a huge flower, and it had BMO on it that was like 4 inches by 3 inches. It was fully solid embroidery on both sleeves, the whole front, and like some stuff on the back. And she's thinking of like, you're going to hate this. This is going to be thick. It's going to be like a shield. It's going to be whatever. But like that shit is so in right now. Like
Super.
so many people are
Maximalism.
buying this other, I can't remember the name of it either, but there's this like, it's like a fishing or like a, no, it's not fishing. It's like a beach vibe hoodie, which is funny because the company's from Canada, where the entire back is embroidered.
It's crazy.
It's like this big like flower thing, whatever, on the back, and the sleeves embroidered, everything. But like that thing doesn't move. Like you walk around like they're wearing like a fucking shirt made of plywood.
Like a Lego, like a Lego shirt.
Right, but they like it. And that's the thing is, it's like, what does your client want? Like, who gives a fuck what we want as print? It's like you were saying too, like we're making print porn content for our socials, but that's for us. Like the client doesn't give a fuck. Like, what are we doing?
The hardest thing as well is because that's the norm, right? That Adventure Time jumper with the 2, you know, fully embroidered sleeves and stuff. People come into my shop all the time. They're like, make me one of these. And you're like, brother, let me bring you back down to reality, because that's not a thing that happens before the garments. I mean, that happens before the garments even put together. I'm a decorator. I'm not a garment creator.
Manufacturer.
I'm not a manufacturer.
So here for you in one day.
And that's just letting them know right off the bat, as soon as they walk in, we're decorators. If you have something that exists, we can make it look better, but we can't fully 3D embroider around a sleeve.
But that's also good for you. You know, you're setting expectations, and you're giving them what they want with what you got. Yeah.
Yeah. If they don't want what we got, then we just tell them that maybe we recommend them to somebody else that maybe can give them what they want.
Right. Let's talk a little bit about the social thing, because again, both of you are kind of really great at that. I mean, I've done it for a long time, but I honestly, if I'm being completely honest, kind of gave up on the whole social media, putting myself out there thing, other than church show stuff. What is your approach, Angel, with that? Because you were saying like, I just want to talk about one specific side of your business, not necessarily showing off printing. Like, what's your focus on that?
To be honest, it's almost like a social experiment. We like to call ourselves a customer service company that happens to print. And it's sort of a joke, sort of not, but the main focus of our social media really is just to bring people into our family so that when they think, oh, my friend's birthday is coming up, where do I get a t-shirt from? The first people that they think of is Halo. So we're trying to play that long game, educate people on how they can make their ordering easier for us, right? Because at the end of the day, if they keep asking us the exact same questions over and over, that means that we're not educating them on something. Right. So I use those questions to then fuel our social media so that they continuously feel like they're getting a stream of education and information, which makes our life way easier. So, and
it makes them feel way more comfortable to approach you too.
Exactly.
They're not walking in.
Yeah.
Like how many times, like I've done it too with even like a tattoo shop or something. And it's like you walk in and you're instantly intimidated because they're like, they act like you don't know that this is how this is done. You're an idiot. Like when I was in a band, that's how I felt every time I walked into a music store, like to buy an instrument. Yeah. They're like, oh, you don't know about these special pickups or whatever. Yeah. It's like, fuck you. It's like, dude, I will never buy anything from here ever again. Mm-hmm. Like, go fuck yourself. Like you almost have to treat them. And again, you don't want to say this to them, but you got to treat them like a 5-year-old or something where you're like, oh, let me walk you through this process. Like you might already know this, but I'd like to walk you through it again. Yeah. Just so you're educated on this rather than just be like, oh, you don't know. Well, you're not, you're not as hip as me or whatever. It's like,
and a lot of our clients actually come from those shops that felt like they needed to know more than they actually did. So they left those shops and joined us because we just go, cool. Do you want it big? Do you want it small? We just speak in normal language and we just try to be your people's printer. Speak to you like a normal instead of like, oh, what fucking Pantone PMS? This is this C. And you're like, I don't care. Yeah. At the end of the day, because they're giving me their money and they're trusting that I'm going to choose the right option. So most of the time they're going to come for my advice, in my opinion, anyway. For me to treat them like you don't know this is just a shitty thing to do.
Being able to explain your industry and I've seen this in like a lot in coffee. Like coffee shops are like that too. You walk into a coffee shop and they're snobby because you don't know what a macchiato means. Like it's this thing where
I have no idea what a macchiato is.
Doesn't matter.
It's when they throw the coffee Mach 10 at the wall.
That's it. Yeah. Caramel and vanilla or something. So being able to dumb down, and dumb down is such a harsh word, but it's like being able to just explain and explain something that in your mind makes perfect sense, that you're like, I know this very, very well. I could explain this in depth and I can nerd out and stuff like that. But knowing the place for that, and when you're talking to a customer that obviously has no fucking idea what you're talking about, being able to dumb that down without sounding condescending is a skill that I don't think a lot of people just naturally have, but I do think it's something you can practice. And it's something that a lot of these things that you're like, just different businesses that, I mean, even bars, think of walking into like some gritty bar and they're like, oh, you don't know how to order a drink. Like we don't have a menu. You just have to know. It's like, that's a goofy ass way to do business. And it's a goofy ass way to talk to people.
I have that. I've had that happen to me. And it's one of those embarrassing moments that's like in my brain. I can't remember exactly where I was. I feel like I was in like Nashville or something. And I was standing in one of the shitty fucking bars in Broadway. And this lady in front of me was like trying to get her husband or something from across the way. And I was trying to like save a spot for him. Like almost, she was like, can you help me? And I was like a big dude and I stood there. The dude came over, made it happen. I was like, oh, sweet. You have your spot next to your wife, whatever. And he looks at me. He's like, oh, I'll get you a drink. What do you want? And I don't drink. Like, I'm not against drinking, but like, I don't have any idea what to order. Like if I was to have something, it's more like a celebration of something. I will have whatever. And the only thing I knew was a screwdriver because it's like mostly orange juice and whatever. Anyway, this fucking dude comes up to me. He's like, he's like, let me get you a drink. What do you want? And I was like, a screwdriver. And he turns and looks at me with like the most disappointing look. And then he nudges my arm. He's like, no, but seriously, what do you want? And I was like, screwdriver.
You're like, this isn't
And it
a
was just
hardware
like-
store?
Right.
What
You could tell that like he was just like so disappointed
That's so
in me
funny.
that like that was my choice. But that's like burned into my brain of like, fuck.
Like,
I'm
screwdriver,
so
hold the alcohol.
embarrassed. Yeah.
Right, can I just have
Screwdriver
orange
hold
juice,
the-
please?
You guys have hot chocolate?
Let me
Yeah,
get a
like,
sparkling
seriously.
water, hold the bubbles.
Right. But Jordy, you're really good at that though too. Like you make a lot of content that is not necessarily like showing off screen printing, but more educating how screen printing happens,
Yeah.
which I feel like is good for your clients too, to be like, hey, this is how we do it here. Like this is how we make it for you, and this is why.
Yeah, for
not
us, we
necessarily like showing off prints.
Yeah, we like bringing people kind of behind the curtain to see how we do it and see if it's different, especially because like I have no print shop history. This is my first print shop. Owning this print shop is the first one I've ever
Mhm.
worked in. So it's like I like making the content so that I can be like, here's how we do it. I think it's kind of cool. Like I'd love to show it off. And that usually works
Mhm.
well for other screen printers as well as because it causes engagement in the comments, in the DMs and things like that. People ask for advice or people recommend advice. But it's also cool for the people that have no idea what's going on and they're like, this all feels like black magic, but now I understand how a screen gets burned, which does help in the education process of when you are explaining, like, obviously we're not going to go all the way into like EOM, but if I'm explaining like, well, we have to do this differently, or if we do an underbase versus discharge, here's how the prints are going to look different. Here's why. I can even like, I have links. If you click some of the photos on our website, they take you to a post that refers to that artwork. So it's like it builds educational content as well as I like engaging with screen printers. The business side of it is the fun part for me. I enjoy customer service, but I love interacting with just other business people and screen printers. So building that audience and building out products to sell to people, as well as having like affiliate links and things like that it's a second stream of revenue, as well as also just, it's really fun. So it just gets to be an enjoyable thing for me, and it helps me stay a little bit sane throughout the day, where I'm like, I get to talk about all these things that I want to talk about, and people actually get to listen, and makes it entertaining for all sides of it, which is good.
Yeah. And I think, I don't know, you might know this, but you're kind of also in the middle of it too. And I had this conversation with Zach Merrill, which I've had him on the show before too. He does those like crazy huge comic book prints that he does the
He's a
artwork for.
killer
And it's literally
artist.
like the entire front of the shirt.
Yeah.
He was having a discussion with me the other day where he was literally saying, which kind of blew my mind a little bit. He was saying, oh, I'm thinking about like outsourcing my printing and focusing on the art and this and this. And I was like, I instantly stopped him. I was like, dude, no. Like the reason why I love you, and I think the reason, I'm not speaking for everybody, but I think the reason why everybody likes what you're doing is because you're making these, and you're making them in such a unique way that makes me want to buy that shirt. Even if it was $150 shirt, I don't know what his costs are, but say it was $150. Like he's literally showing you him making the packaging. Like, oh, I'm cutting the cardboard and I'm putting on the plastic and I'm folding this way, so it looks like you're buying an old, action figure or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, like this is so rad to see the whole process and that you're doing it.
All his tools.
The fact
and
that he
stuff
would
is
instantly be
insane.
like, right, like if he was like, oh, I outsource this to some other country or some other person or something, it would be like, I kind of said it in a nice way, but I was like, what's left? Like, you're just going to show us you using like Procreate or something? Like I wouldn't necessarily want to buy that shirt as much. You know what I mean? It's like when your favorite, like small brand is now in like a Zoomies or something.
Yeah, fuck.
And you're like,
Too many.
I don't care about this as much anymore. You know what I mean? Like, I don't feel like I'm supporting them. I feel like I'm supporting like Zoomies or
I did
Hot
DM
Topic
him
or something.
and I was like, I'd love to do your outsourcing if you wanted.
I'm sorry I ruined that for you.
No, I was like, I think it makes. I had the same thought you did, where I'm like, what makes it special is that it's handmade, and no one prints a T-shirt like you do. But then I do also think where if you did collaborate, it needs to be with someone else who's kind of like fun, entertaining, and I will.
But then maybe the collaboration is still showing it off. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like, oh, hey,
yeah.
I'm focusing on this now, but I'm also still getting content from Jordy of him making it.
Yeah.
And so on.
Well,
But
with our
anyway,
new,
the way
our
I
new
tied that,
auto.
the way I'm tying that to you is like, the reason why I like watching your content is because I'm seeing you grow. Like,
Same.
it's more entertainment for me than it is like, again, I'm a screen printer, so I'm not going to obviously order screen printing from you. But to me, it's like almost like one of my, like a favorite show I watch, where it's like, oh, what's Jordy doing this week? You know what I mean? Like, what? And again, like today, you told me like, oh, I bought an auto now, and now I'm like excited for you because the next episode in this is like you figuring it out or learning what works and what doesn't work, and then you being like, oh, I fucked up, like it didn't fit in the building, or you know, something, and I'm like, I'm biting my teeth, but you know, my fingernails being like, oh, he fucked up. You know, like that's exciting. Like that's the content, and I think people who want to buy screen printing from you have that same feeling. They want to buy shirts from you because they're invested in your story just as much as they're invested in what it is that you're selling. And that's got to be the same for you, Angel. Like people come in and they get to see your smiling face, and they get to see you guys talking about it and making it, and they're like, cool, I bought a shirt for my sister's birthday or something, but I'm going to come back for the next thing that I want, or the next thing that I want, or I'm going to refer a friend and go with that friend and be excited for them to see you make it for them. And you're like, oh, see, I told you he would do it this way.
That's actually crazy, because we have had people drive like 3 hours in, and they'll be like, I'm here, can I get a t-shirt? And you're like, yeah. And then they're like, oh, that's like cool, like I'm in the Instagram place, you know. Which is, and the best part about being in the community where we're at, there's 5 printers. I could throw a stone and hit 5 different screen printers, all that have been around longer than I have, right? Real OGs in the game. And if they don't like their style in terms of brand style, remember, we're all kind of doing the same shit, right? We're using the same materials, but Fresh Tees has more like a streetwear hip hop style. Subly Tech has more of a corporate style. Signature Handprints has more of like a mummy bohemian style, right? So everyone goes to the print shop that matches their style, not so much for the specific garments that they can make, but because they naturally align with their Instagrams, align with their branding. So we get a lot more like college students, girls, fun like illustrators, artists, the people that like just quirky, fun, cute things. Whereas someone like Fresh Tees gets a lot of rappers, a lot of musicians, etc. So everyone has their own niche. And yeah, so awesome. Exactly what you were saying. They'll pick us because they like our branding, not so much because they believe that we can do one job better than the next person.
It's funny you mentioned the like person who drives 3 hours and comes in and is like, oh, this is the Instagram place. Like I do that all the time, and I try to play it so cool when I walk into a shop. Like I'll know of a place, like a shop or a storefront or something that I follow on Instagram that has to do with this industry or something, and I'll fly to a location for something else, and I'll drive to that store or whatever and go in, and I'm just like, just looking, but it's like I know everything about your place.
Yeah,
like, I already know you.
Your name's Greg. Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I saw that you had toast this morning. Yeah. It's like, oh fuck, you know what I mean? It's like, like how did that bagel turn out? You were talking about how it didn't, you know, whatever.
You know,
like,
as the person that's
latte.
Standing behind the counter,
right.
you'd be surprised. There's a lot of people that walk in, and the way that their eyes look, because they're kind of like, that's the guy that I've been watching on Instagram, and then they try to play it cool, but I already know that they did that, like that they looked kind of like, huh, like I don't know, there's something that flashes with their eyes, and I'm just like, I'm just like skedaddle. I just go straight upstairs. I try to alleviate all the awkwardness for everybody, and I just get the fuck out of that situation.
That's the truth, is they want you to come over and
but
say
I can
hi.
be a little bit
angel interaction.
I'm not the most customer friendly person all of the time. You know, I might be in the middle of a stock take, right?
So much.
And you might go, fuck, I really don't want this person's idea of who I am based off social media to not match me in person, because I might just be in the middle of something.
Exactly what you mean.
So
and
I
this
just
is going to sound
get the
super
fuck out of
cringe,
there.
but it's honest. Is like, I go to these trade shows sometimes, and a lot of people know who I am from social or from Shirt Show or whatever. And it's like, I literally have a mental gas tank and it's like by 3-4 o'clock, all I want to do is go back to the hotel room and fucking put my face in the pillow and just not say a word. And it's like, I don't want to meet somebody for the first time when I'm in that mode of empty, because they're going to be like, this guy's a fucking asshole.
It's the only
Or
impression.
like he's not interested, or he's looking off in the distance. And I promise you, I want to say hey, I want to hang out, but like I am so burnt. Like I am just like, I have done small talk for 8 hours and I just want to not talk. I just want to be in the crowd watching whatever it is we're watching and not saying anything. So one thing I did want to mention that Christina noted is that you have the second most 5-star ratings.
Yeah, we not the most. We had the most, but there's some other guy that caught on to us.
Second most.
I know. And I was going to say we had the most, but that's why we had the second most.
But then you fell off.
We fell off just because. So, firstly, we don't really ask people to review us. We feel like it's a bit not to. Listen, let me go back. We don't ask people to review us solely because it's nicer for us when it is organic, right? It's a feeling. If we ask somebody to review us and we kind of force them to, and we're like, hey, can you review us? And they do, it doesn't feel like an accomplishment on our behalf. But when they go out of their way to leave a fucking paragraph with 6 photos as to why they loved the shop so much, that feels so much more fulfilling to us. So we do have the most organic 5-star reviews without having to ask people to review us. But the one print shop that has more than us does ask each of their clients after they pick up to review them. So we have the second most, but second most 5-star reviews, not too bad.
That's crazy to not ask for them and get them.
That's just how we roll. Yeah.
I mean, I get that. That's amazing. That's awesome. Like, it's impressive. I'm just saying that, like, I'm finding with the shop and all this other stuff, like, it might be because it's more, like, you would be more known on, like, a Yelp than I would be. Like, no one's on there looking for a screen printing shop. Like, you're more like
a destination,
almost like a restaurant or something,
a
a destination
shop
where, like, people want to review this place. So that might be why. But, like,
and they get stickers when they come by. They might get a shop hat. They might, like, we'll throw in a bunch of freebies, even things down to, like, absolutely everything in the shop is branded, down to our bags are branded, the care cards are branded, the stickers that we chuck in, like the tape, everything we're a nice little package that we hand to somebody, which makes them feel more like a part of this, I guess you could say, the culture, or the cult for short, of Halo.
I love that. I mean, yeah, it's awesome. I'm glad that you guys are in that position, and it's a nice place to be. Like, and I mean, also noted that she mentioned is that you guys have had pretty steady growth over the last 5 years. So are you feeling like that's still on its way, man?
Yeah, steady is a funny word, because if it's constantly like going like this up, I don't know if it's that steady. I almost would rather like that, but it's going like this, and it's like it's going up almost faster than it's going across. Like we're growing too fast for the amount of years that we've been in operation. Not for that to seem like a humble brag or anything, but we work our fucking asses off. We pull in constantly, as you guys would as well, I'm sure, like 9, 10, 11, 12-hour days, just to make sure that shit's correct. And this is the fruit of our labor. It's just me and my wife. It just started with just us two for a very long time, and then we started to get another person here and another person there and another person here, and now we've built out our solid team, and sky's the limit. We just got centerfold article in Digital Textile Magazine, which is really cool. And just people like you, like Shirt Show, it kind of just having us on it helps us get to that next step. So yeah, we really appreciate it.
That's awesome, dude. What do you do next, though? Like, say it keeps up on that, that, like you said, more of a sharp incline than you would like. What can you do to keep the same vibe but grow?
Without necessarily giving away all of our secret sauce, I do see, I like to think, nearly 5 years ahead, and I can see printing heading into home a lot more. So I want to get at the front of that and start working on actual products, Halo branded products, things that I can put my name onto, that stamp of approval. And because we've already built up a solid name within customer service and just giving a quality product and always standing behind it, and you never having to kind of pull any refunds or any exchanges back out from us, we want to transfer that good name into great product. Possibly team up with someone like Stalls and do like a Halo branded heat press that we can sell, and then sell maybe some DTFs alongside with that. I don't know, just trying to focus more on helping people print at home, possibly.
That's awesome. That's a cool thing to think about.
I've got a question that I've had the whole time. I'm so curious. What percentage of your business is just single shirts? Is that 80%? Is it much smaller? Is it almost 100%? Like, I'm so curious. Like, just the single shirt orders. Is it, like what? How much is that made up of that?
I'd say maybe same day single shirt orders might be around 15%, possibly. Because we have same day, express, and standard. Standard being 2 weeks, express being 5 days, and then same day obviously being same day. Same day is probably around 15. I'd say express are about 30% of our orders, and then standard's like another 20. So that 5 day turnaround, single t-shirt, 2 t-shirt, up to 5, that takes up the bulk of our process, as well as the larger, 500 unit screen print jobs that we're still taking on, the 200 unit embroidery jobs that we're still taking on. But we'll also do those even down to, like, we just did a 400 t-shirt unit for next day turnaround. So once people know you for same day, that's what they want. And if you just put it out there and you go, this is the price that it is, either you take it or you don't. If they're loaded or if they work for a big corporation, they're just like, tap the card. I don't give a fuck. Just make sure it's on my desk tomorrow, and bing, bang, boom. That's how you can make a little bit of extra chunks. But
you're not doing that all with a manual, right? Like, I imagine this is not.
No. Luckily, we have amazing friends and partners that we can kind of lean on them a little bit, and make sure everybody's eating.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
The question with Jordy was making about the same day versus the express versus the 5 business day. If you get somebody walking in and they want one shirt and it's easy enough and the artwork's done and everything and they're getting it digital, like, is it just a price point for them to be like, oh, well, I can come back in 5 days to pick it up? Or is it easier for you to just be like, I can fucking do this right now? Like,
I could do it right now, but I need to, the most important thing I really do believe that a lot of printers don't do is they don't value themselves financially. So I need to also go like, Brad, if you have the money to pay for same day, I could do it right now, but I also have a ton of other shit that I could be doing as well. So we're never too slow that somebody is just casually coming in.
You almost have to stop yourself and be like, all right, I'll see you in 5 days. Instead of being like, well, I could fucking do it. Like, I could do this right now.
Well, there's 4 other people before that guy that ordered same day. So I'll just focus on those orders. Right. So we're never at a point where we don't have same days and we don't have express, or we just don't have shit to work on. So we're just going like, yeah, cool, I can work on that right now. That's never the case. They have to pay to skip the whole queue and for us to work on theirs right now. Because there's still a queue regardless. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And another thing I know about you too is you don't want to compromise on the price. Like, you don't want to lower the price or give discounts.
We've never had a sale our entire life. We don't plan to ever have a sale. What we do is what we do, and we do it well. And if you want to work with us, you'll pay the fair wage that we're asking for. It cost us, in full transparency to the people watching this podcast, it cost us approximately $2,500 a day to run the business, right? So if we're not profiting more than $2,500 a day, we're going backwards. So when you think about it that way, you're going, cool, I need to sell a lot of same day t-shirts to make up this amount and meet payroll and meet electricity bills and all that, insurances, plate glass insurance, all these things that retail shops have that you don't even really consider, right? Security camera subscriptions, all that stuff.
That was the first hint of Australian I've heard this entire episode. You said right, but you said it like an Australian.
Okay, that's
right.
good.
You said right. You didn't say right.
It slipped out. They're on to me, boys. Let's get out of here.
You're like, yeah, Brooklyn, looking right. And I'm like, you fucker, you're Australian.
Yeah, mate. Good old-fashioned Aussie bloke. Ginger beer, meat pie.
Yeah, there you go. And I didn't know if I was going to show this or not, but aisle 6 is in Australia as well.
Yeah,
They
Wollongong.
gave us this Vegemite, and it expired in 2021. But I used to use this because this shit is disgusting. I don't
It's horrible.
care. It's
It's
terrible.
the worst. Yeah, it's cockroach butter essentially.
Yeah. We used to make every new hire eat it.
Oh, yeah, that sounds like a rite of passage. Yeah, it's pretty bad.
I was like, you have to, have some of this in order.
So
to
funny,
be here.
Shannon from aisle 6. We were great friends even when I was working for AS Color. So he was one of the guys that I would float T-shirts to, and he's an icon in the Sydney printing community, man. Shannon's
aisle 6.
Yeah, he's an OG. He's a proper OG, and RIP aisle 6. But yeah, he's just real old school hand printing like dog. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
Great.
shout out to Shannon because I love that guy.
He was one of our early episodes. I loved that episode. I do kind of remember us talking about AS Color a lot in that episode.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like anybody we've talked about. One of my favorite humans and printers of all time is Black Dog, and he's in Australia as well.
He's great. Yeah.
And like I had him on when I had my podcast before I did Shirt Show, and I've been trying to get him back on Shirt Show. He's just been so busy, and he's got like life stuff happening.
Mm-hmm.
But I love that dude. Like his work, just him as a human, great Australia. And I think Christina mentioned to you that like Australia is the second most listener heavy country for us. So
I'm not
it's like
surprised.
US and Australia.
I'm not surprised because Australians take their screen printing quite seriously, and being so close to New Zealand has some of the greatest screen printers I've ever seen. Like Islanders are kind of renowned for their screen printing. It's really odd if you don't hear about it much, but New Zealand, they take that shit seriously. Like it's like a fucking way of life for them. You know what I mean? It's they're like samurais with that shit. They take it very seriously, where I'm over here with my little fucking beep beep boop boop t-shirts done.
Yeah.
No
Dude,
respect.
the beep beep boop boop's working for you.
It's
so-
working. Fuck it. And you know what?
Fuck
At the end of the day, I couldn't screen print 1 or 2 units anyway. The last thing I want to do is fucking get plastisol all over my face. I'm just like a 5-year-old monkey when it comes to
it
that
doesn't
shit.
have to go on your face, right?
You'd be surprised, bro. Just, I wouldn't even touch it. I won't even be at the shop, and somehow, like, I'll wake up and plastisol's on my pillow. I'm like, fuck
That's
this.
my favorite part about water-based.
Is you can just wash it off.
Or the
It's just
fact that
not all
you
over the
sneeze
place.
and now it all dries in the screen because you sneezed on top of the screen.
Oh yeah, everything's just. I'd rather
Right.
it be drying than on my bed at home.
That's true. I'm just used to it now. It's just part of
Just part of
me.
life. It's in your eggs in the morning.
Angel, did you get a chance to think of a shop hack?
You know what? Since I saw the grip tape DTF thing, I feel like I can't come up with something better than that because that's all the way at the top. That's probably S tier.
Have you tried it yet?
S tier hack. I have tried it and it does work. And
Hell yeah.
I've been trying to keep it in my pocket, very close to me because I don't want anybody else to know. It's so good. It's one of those things it's just so good.
But the question is, did you buy like the Amazon grip tape, or did
No,
you buy,
I went
like,
straight to the
Spitfire?
skate shop and I supported my local guy at World of Wheelcraft.
That's an
And
amazing name.
what a great name, hey. Yeah, shout out Jamie and James from World of Wheelcraft. Yeah, just got a nice fat grip tape from them and
yeah.
used that, and it's been amazing. But in terms of a shop hack, I almost feel like there's nothing that I have that you guys wouldn't already know about, in terms of solvents.
I think, in
and
all
things like that.
honesty, your story with Halo is kind of a shop hack in itself. To be honest, I'm not trying to fluff you up. Like in all reality, the sense of creating your own market for the most part, and showing off a side of you that is more authentic to, it's just, this is how we are. We don't do sales. This is what we do. We take stuff back without question, just to help the customer. Is people need to do that more. Like, people need to stop worrying about the numbers all the time and just be real fucking human beings.
Actually, I do have a shop hack. Now that I think about it, it's in that vein. So, number one thing that you can do to definitely get more clientele and more engagement in your community, you go to the local cafe, whichever one is everybody's favorite local cafe.
Jordan, you got this.
And you cover coffees for an entire day, but you don't tell anybody, right? So you post in the morning, you might post like, hey, head down to this thing for a coffee on us. You give the cafe a bunch of stickers of your print shop. And then every time somebody goes to order a cafe, they're like, oh, Days Printing's already covered it. And they're like, who? And then they give them a sticker. Boom. Now they're like, what the heck? This is awesome. Ideally, a coffee shop across the street from your warehouse or something very close. So we did that both times that we opened up a shop, with the exception of the warehouse. And it came back at like 100 times. So people were coming back in with now an almond croissant that they bought from the cafe because they didn't have to pay for a coffee. The cafe is smiling ear to ear because they got a bunch of people swarming to the cafe. And now we have a shop full of people with an almond croissant and a coffee going, thank you guys so much for paying for our coffee. I actually work for Electrolux and we need new staff t-shirts. Boom. So now that the cost of the coffees for that day just came back times 10 because all those people that got a coffee just so happened to be the marketing director for Netflix or the this or that. And you just don't know who's going to be buying a coffee that day. Do that 4 times a year, every quarter, every 3 months. And then a year from now, you won't even be able to recognize your shop because it'd be people knocking on that door, coming in, local community, just trying to keep you guys alive. And we survive primarily off local community.
I'm just going to cut this out of this episode. And I'm just, Jordy, that's between us. Okay.
That's what
Chad, delete this.
Dude,
this is just for us.
Take that a step further and bring them a stamp to stamp all the cups, or you stamp all the cups. And then it's literally the cup is branded too. Like do like a co-branded. Like we've got so many coffee shop customers here in town that I'm like, that would be insane if we just did like, oh, it's the day's coffee day. Like, and it's just all day. The problem is some of these coffee shops, I like know their numbers and I know how much it's going to cost me. And I'm like, but I see how the return is big.
Yeah, this isn't a new idea or anything. I'm sure somebody's done it. But, like, I've always thought about that with, like, the local restaurants or bars or something where, you know, you go sit at the bar and they give you that pint glass that's, like, printed with some random beer or something, whatever. Mm-hmm. I almost want to just buy a bunch of cases of one side of the glass is their logo, the other side of the glass is our logo, and just be like, I will just supply you with infinite, like, glass. Mm-hmm. Like, just keep serving in these, and then I will give you free glasses.
T-shirt, you know, left chest, right chest, their the bar name, and then your logo, and then a collab thing in the back. You know, you make them one T-shirt on DTF, and you just go, if you guys need new staff uniforms, I'm willing to sponsor this bar.
Right.
But our number one pro tip right now, which is what we just started doing, is we have coffee cards, and the cafe across the street from us who we print for, we also print for the roaster. So we've asked the roaster and the cafe to team up. So when somebody gets a same day t-shirt, while they're waiting, they can actually go get themselves a free coffee from Black Market Coffee and awesome. Fuel Bakery.
That's a good idea.
Now, we're charging $90 for a same day, but you get some free drinks. You get to kind of hang out with the shop dog. You get some extra stickers. You get this and that. So that $50 standard turnaround t-shirt, that's now $90 because you're getting it in an hour or so. It also kind of pays for itself with the experience.
Snacks.
And we got snacks. And we got fucking Connect 4, bro. You can hang out on the couch and play Connect 4 with yourself because there's nobody else there. But if you have a girlfriend or something,
Connect 4 by yourself.
You said another good shop hack earlier that I think is huge, and it was something that I learned at a coffee shop that I worked at, which was that you guys said your customer service first, and you just so happen to print shirts. Like, I think if people thought, especially as a sales team, think about, like, our job is just to serve you. It doesn't matter what the fuck I'm selling you. Like, focusing on just, how can I make your day better? How can I make your week better? I commented on, I think it was one of the shirt show things. And I was like, be someone in your community that everybody's, like, excited to know and excited to hear about and, like, see out in public and say hi to. Like, just focus on customer service and you will never lose. Like, doesn't mean every job's going to go perfect. Doesn't mean you're going to land every customer. But if you're just always
you'll lose your hair.
That's true.
You'll lose your hair, but you won't lose. It just
goes gray, man. Everything's gray now.
I know. My daughter was having that conversation with me the other day, and she was like, "Oh, I'm so good to you," or whatever. And I was like, "You fucking make me so gray." She's like, "You're not gray." Oh, never mind. Sorry.
Oh.
It's like
we went from dad to papa.
Yeah, Yeah, like that's so great. It's funny. Last night we were watching a documentary that's new on Netflix. It's about I can't remember the name of it now. It's something like treasure, something with gold. So basically, what this guy did is he was this like guy who wrote a book, and he had this whole life before where he was like a decorated like war guy, and he had this crazy life where he did all these crazy things, and I mean, you can look this up. I guess it was a huge deal where basically what he did is he wrote a book, and in the book he wrote a poem, and the poem itself was all of the clues to find a treasure, and he had buried a treasure of like gold nuggets, whatever, in the mountains. I can't remember. It was like the Rockies or something, the Rocky Mountains. He just said basically like I buried $5 million in the chest in the Rocky Mountains somewhere.
Oh yeah, I did see the trailer for that.
The poem has like all the hints to find it. Well, it took people like 10 years to find it, but the thing is he was like he put the poem in his book, so you had to buy the book for $100 in order to get the poem.
Jeez.
So like he had to have made way more than the $5 million that he put out in the treasure just in book sales, because it was something stupid like, you know, like 500,000 people were looking for this treasure. And
for like
it's
a decade.
500,000 times $100, like the dude's making money. Not only, and then he had all these appearances on TV and like all this other stuff. And it's like, I was thinking while I was watching this, it was like, how do we do something like that where it's like we have some insane giveaway or something where, again, I don't know how that applies to me yet, but I'm like, how do we do this? And I've seen people do it before where they sell their car or they sell like a guitar or something where like, oh, I'm going to sell 100 tickets at $10 a piece or something. Yeah. And then they more than paid for the car, but each person bought $10 worth or something. And it's like, how do we make that apply to marketing for ourselves somehow? Yeah. You know what I mean? But anyway, I just thought it was interesting where this dude like outsmarted everybody. He's like, oh, no one's going to buy. He basically said, nobody's going to buy my shitty book. No one even knows who I am. But like, if I do this thing,
he just Mr. Beasted it.
Right. He just Mr. Beasted the shit out of this. And now he's well known and has a Netflix documentary and everything. So yeah, it's just crazy. All right. Second question too, that's new to the shop hack thing is, what is your greatest shop fail? What's one thing that you're like, fuck, if I did this?
Oh, that's pretty.
Didn't do this.
That's pretty easy. It was just something as small as doing a repeat order, and I auto approved a proof because it was based on a repeat order. I just went, yep, they want a repeat. That's what happens when a customer asks, can I get a repeat? Didn't send them the proof. Auto approved it myself. Did not know that they had a full rebrand and they've slightly changed the colors a couple hues over, printed about 400 units for a couple days, like in 3 days. And then the guy came to pick up and he's like, our whole entire commercial shoot is tomorrow and these are not the right colors. You didn't even ask us what colors we wanted. And I'm like, cool, it's a repeat. And they're like, well, the commercial's tomorrow, right? So naturally, another print shop would have been like, hey, listen, man, you asked for a repeat. I gave you a repeat. It's nothing what it is. And I went, sure, I'll do that. And reprinted everything, all 400 units by the next day, or ordered in all new garments. Luckily, AS Color was nice enough to like send it to me right away. So that landed, reprinted it and gave it to them. And then after, so I lost out on all that money, right? Cost of garments and the printing and the staff
customer never ordered
and all that stuff.
Ever again.
And the customer, not only did they never order from me ever again, but like a month later, he went, so do you still have those other ones that you've printed? And what are you going to do with them? Like, can we just have them for free? And I said, I'd rather wipe my butt with each and every one of them and chuck them in the bin than to give them back away for free. And what did we do? Gave it to them for free. I never actually said that to the guy. We're too nice. So we were like, yeah, sure. And we went around and dropped off the garments.
And then you saw all the tags social
that he was selling them for $100 a pop.
Yeah, seriously.
So he's started to give away the misprinted ones, or the miscolored ones, but he made a huge deal when it happened of like, these are not the right colors. Like, we can never sell these. And you're like, he said, they are unsellable is what he said.
Always. It's always what they say.
I love
unsellable. It's like, yeah.
These are unacceptable and unsellable. And you're like,
unsellable until they start selling them.
Yeah,
Right.
crazy.
God.
So yeah, that's my biggest failure is that one. Aside from never take credit card payments over the phone and punch it in yourself, especially when you're with Square, because I've got scammed out of $8,000 in a single swoop just because I put someone's credit card details in and it was a scammed card, and then Square was like, "Sick, we're gonna need that $8,000 back," and they just plucked it right back out of our account. But we
So
already
I've never heard of
delivered
this,
it.
and I've never had to deal with it, obviously. But like, now I need to knock on wood.
It's
That shit's gonna
technically
happen tomorrow.
illegal to manually enter someone's details in yourself because it's their card. So if you enter it in yourself, they can report it as like they've been scammed because they never actually entered in the
I
details.
wonder how that works with something like PayPal, where I put it in like it through virtual terminal, where like that's the whole point of it is for
I think
me
you're
to enter their
covered
card in
through PayPal, but with Square,
because it's their own service.
yeah. But with Square, they tell you in bold, like, do not put in people's information yourself.
So you're kind of like putting it in almost like you're the customer.
Yes, correct. On the phone. They're like, can you just
Okay.
pop it in through the phone? And then they're reading the card numbers
Right,
out
right.
and I'm putting it in. And the moment you do that and it's not their fingers touching the button, it can be a false transaction
Damn.
or something like that.
Yikes.
That's a good
Fraudulent
one.
transaction.
Just to let
Yeah.
people know that exists. Yeah.
Yeah, because that's how we were out $8,000. It hurt a lot. And that was just like 3 months into being a shop. We had no money at all. And that was our first $8,000 order. And we're like, woohoo. And we did it. And a day later, they got all the stuff and they took the money back out of our account and we lost
Dude,
out.
scammers are getting so creative these days.
Yeah,
It's
for
like,
sure.
I
Not
had a
trust
guy
anybody.
recently who I read the email and I was like, this is a scammer, 100%. I just delete them. I don't even respond anymore. I just delete them. Like, and I always have that little thought in the back of my head of like, what was it? What if this was a real thing? Like, what if this was somebody actually wanted this quote? But it's always the wording. It's always like, I don't have the art. I don't know this, but I want a quote for 100, 500, 1,000, and like, 5,000 or something.
Mhm.
And it's like, I just want all extra larges. And it's like, okay, this is not real. Like, this is
You
whatever.
5,000
But I've had
XLs.
a guy recently who just keeps hitting me up. He's like, yeah, I still want a quote for this. I want a quote for that. And I'm just like, every time I'm like, nah, I just delete it. I'm like, I don't think this is real. But I don't know. I've been
Sometimes
scammed
I send them
before
to
with
other
that.
print shops. Like not in a rude way. I just go like, we might not be able to help you with that, but here's a 10%
shop
off
call.
code for the print bar in Brisbane. You can check them out and just
They
see.
would love
Maybe
to do it.
maybe not,
Yeah.
Or if somebody
All
gets mad at your pricing, then you can go like, oh, is it too expensive? Here's a 10% off code for the printer down the road. And then they usually get offended first. They're like, how dare you? And then after a while, they're like, they come back after 2 days and they go, fuck it, I'll pay whatever. Because they went and the printer was closed.
I love that.
Yeah. All right, I want to do a couple quick takes and I'll let you get on with your day. I
Yeah.
keep forgetting that it's fucking early in the morning for you. All right, Jordy and Angel, these are both for you. What shirt has your shop printed that you are the most proud of?
You mean brand of shirt? Or
I mean actual shirt that you've made for somebody that you were like, I am so stoked that I got to do this.
That's easy. We got to do all of the main character shirts for the Fall Guy. So Ryan Gosling, like as he's fucking riding motorcycles and stuff. We printed all the shirts in that movie, and yeah,
cool.
that was. I think it was a very quick turnaround order, and it just came in like movie companies like, oh, we need something for the costume department. Can you do this today? And we're like, yeah, and then bing bang
You're
boom.
like perfectly catered for that business. I always think that when I
Yes.
see shirts printed in movies, I'm like,
Mhm.
someone had to make 2 of those.
Yeah, no, we had to make 30 of those. 30
I know,
of the
but that's
ones
right
that,
up your
yeah,
alley.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Of like,
yeah.
I got to make the logo shirt for the guy in the cafe.
Yeah.
I got to make this one for this.
We do a
thing.
lot of movies, a lot of TV shows, and costume department stuff. When they just have your direct number and they can go, we need something right now. Can I pick it up in an hour or two? And you go, yep. Then they'll just keep coming back to you over and
I
over.
love
and
that. I would love that connection because
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a movie guy. I would love to be like, dude, I fucking made that shirt. in
just
that
hit up the
movie.
costume departments. You'd be surprised. They're like desperate for people like you that want to actually do it.
I would love that so much. Jordy, what's your most proud of?
I think our my most proud project is probably all those vintage tees we did for the drag queen Patagonia. That was just massive. And it was a huge undertaking for us to do as a manual print shop. But we crushed it. We did all the sourcing. Fun. It was fun. It was fun. There were times where it stopped being fun because it was so much work, but I was really proud of us and the team and everybody that like came together to make it happen. And then our like artwork wise, there's two. We did one for another local designer here in town that like just the art was more complex than we had really done before, but we were able to bang it out and it looked awesome. And then we did one really recently, like last week, it was just like a simple 3-color, but it was just really, really fine detail. And it was just a bit trickier with the water base and all the variables that we force upon ourselves. That it was
just make you feel fulfilled.
Well, it was awesome that it was the first complex print that my team printed without me being on press. Like I was there to help them set it up, but they just like took it on, and I was like, "Let's go!" Like I don't even have to be here anymore. I'm going on vacation for 3 months. See you guys later. Like that was so that
working
like
from
proudest
Bali
moment,
from a laptop.
Yeah, like I felt like a proud father. I was like, "Oh, they did it. They're good now. I'm fine." So those are probably the biggest ones.
That's awesome.
That's cool.
If you could snap your fingers and change one major thing about your print shop, what would it be?
Oh, more space.
If I could snap my fingers, I would have a 6-station automatic heat press carousel.
I know a guy.
I think they're just so OP, especially operate like the fucking nice ones from Rock, the ROQ that they even have ones that place the DTF on it and peel it off after the fact. I'd probably wouldn't get one of those because robots are the devil, but just
coming from a digital guy,
brother, I still don't trust those motherfuckers, bro. I try to catch them off guard. You know what I mean? I just sniping them from down the block.
I don't trust machines at all.
I hear that whiting stirring, and I just fucking get into karate chop mode real quick. I don't trust them yet. But yeah, I would get a 6-station automatic heat press carousel.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
That's sweet. Jordy?
Yeah, more space.
You just got your auto today, so
now I'm gonna knock out this wall behind me to make it fit. But
really, are you really gonna?
Yeah, I won one in an auction this morning, and I think I'm gonna have to knock out this wall to make it fit.
Fuck yeah, knock the wall down. Knock the wall
take it out. It'll be a good video.
Do it on IG Live. Yeah, do it on IG Live.
Dude, there we
with
go.
The Ray-Ban Meta sunglasses.
TikTok, Instagram.
Watch the wall fall on you, and we get to all watch you get maimed on IG Live.
More space, or be able to have like a retail storefront. Something that I've wanted since we started this, because this started as a retail project anyway. Like all my designs originally was me selling retail stuff. So doing something like yours, where it's a retail storefront in downtown Bend, or move even to a different city, would be absolutely killer. And to have it as like we bring coffee into that, coffee merch, same day shirts, that type of stuff would be that's a big change. But quick change, more space. That's if we do a quick snap, that's it.
And then you can give away free coffee from yourself.
Yeah,
everything's free.
Just give everything away for free and go under.
Yeah, right.
And then
that's what we all should be doing.
Maybe not a month.
What are some pages on Instagram that you pull inspiration from? Doesn't have to be industry related.
This is one page, Days Printing. Pretty cool. I heard the guy's a dick, but not just kidding.
Huge dick.
Doesn't have to
Long
be
arms.
printing related.
Weird nipples.
6 of them.
That T-shirt dude, he was traveling screen printer, I think, or
John McGee.
Yeah. Oh no, there is traveling screen printer, and then there's that T-shirt dude. I think there might be two different people. Both of them very good. I dig their IGs a lot.
I like John's specifically because it gets super nerdy and gets into the nitty gritty of it.
Yeah,
like you said earlier, it's almost like print porn, but like I like that from some people. You know,
they're meant for printers. I get that part. Yeah, my mom's not gonna know what the heck he's talking about, but I will.
But I do. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Jordy,
I don't even think I can go far enough back. But the night that I found Halo Print Co. I sent it to my partner Nina, and I was like, "We're going to steal all these ideas."
Yeah,
like,
fuck yeah, do it. I'll teach you how to do it.
I was like, dude, that's it. I mean, I was like, the
I'm
retail
an open
You
book.
guys are
space.
so far away from each other that like it would never conflict.
That was my thought.
Bro,
is
I'm
like, gonna
teaching
DM
all the
them.
print shops in our area like how to raise their prices because the rising tide floats all boats, right? We don't want to
Yeah.
be on a race from the bottom. So I'm an open book even to the print shop across. There's an alleyway between us and another print shop, and
Yeah.
I'm telling them all the stuff that we're doing so that they can
We're super
also
similar
raise their
here.
prices.
There's a print shop. There's 2 print shops at walking distance away. There's another 2 or 3 print shops all less than 5 minutes away. Like and we're not a big town. Like we're like 100,000, 120,000 people, and there's like a dozen print shops here. And it's like
Yeah, there's
we're
enough
all
work for all
mostly
of us.
we're all mostly friends. We all like exchange customers. Like things happen. It's like it's all really positive. For the most part, at least, it's been positive for us. And I just love the idea. Like retail's awesome. So pulling inspiration from you is definitely huge. You mentioned
Thanks,
Zach Merrill, like the Action Tees page is insane. Like watching him do it. Also Psychopath Labs. I have not DM'd them yet, but I want to talk to them at some point. I don't know if you guys have you guys seen their stuff?
I haven't.
They do like all like applique, like everything's applique with these insane like textiles that they have like imported and things like that. Like it is some of the most insane embroidery content, and they do like embroidery print like combos. Like it's really cool stuff.
That's what's always really cool about our industry is that it's big, but it's not too big where you can't just fucking message and talk to the actual person making it
true.
happen. You know what I mean? Like if I wanted to talk to Angel, I can just DM Halo and be like, "Hey man, what's up?" He's like, "Yo dude, what's up?" like,
Perfect.
Like that's it. That's the end of the story. Like I'm in contact with him and we talk now.
Yeah.
Like I love that so much that you're just like, I am so fucking hard for this thing happening right now, and I can just talk to them.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like that's it.
Good thing about internet. Toby Garment also. Toby Garment's another one that's been popping up on my IG a lot. Do you know? Have you guys seen those guys?
Oh, I've seen
They
them.
do the
think so.
all over screen printed t-shirts, water base, and they'll do
Is this
like
the one
a
where the guy's laying
18
on the
color.
ground and they're pulling like
And
a
they
giant
use
squeegee?
2 people to pull the squad. Well, now they
Yeah.
have an automatic that does it for them. But yeah, Toby Garment, they do like the fucking 11, 12, 13 color water base all over print.
So cool.
Great. Bonkers, actually. They should go to jail because that should be illegal. Nobody should be able to ask
Get
for
out
that.
of here.
You're making the rest of us look bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, last one. What is a song you are sad you will never hear played live?
I Believe I Can Fly by R. Kelly. That's me, folks.
You went right for that one. You knew. That was already there.
I would have dropped the mic,
Oh my
but
God.
it's on a fucking this thing. So.
Right. Jordy, you have the same answer?
Oh God, yeah. How'd you pull that out of my mind? That's insane. Oh man, I feel like that is so. I've never even thought about that really.
I think
Not
about
me
that
neither.
all the time. I think about how, like, what was it? I've always said that if I had a genie and I had 3 wishes, one of them would be to see Metallica in Seattle. It's like Seattle 1989 show or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
I think I've watched that whole show on YouTube like 100 times. Like, I just want to be there. Like,
I'm
it's
gonna pull
cringe
one-
now, but like in the heyday, like it would have been amazing to be at.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna pull one like this. And this artist is not dead; they just never perform live. But being able to see Frank Ocean like in a
Brother, I was
weird
going to say the
bar-
exact same thing.
Oh my God. Like that would be the fact that he just doesn't even play live, and he tried to play it like Coachella or something like that. And it,
Horrible.
It didn't vibe. And he's just, I mean, he's not a stage performer. And it's like, but his old stuff, he had to like bust his ass because he's trying to make a name for himself. Like watching some of those old, like just like shitty phone video of him, like in a crowd of like maybe 500 people, like that I would kill to go to one of those shows.
Same.
It's amazing.
Same.
Yeah, I have a bunch of those where I like watch things on YouTube or something that's like some really old show, and I'm like, because there's all these bands that are amazing, or like you heard of them when you were a kid, and it's like now you go see them and they're just old, or like half the band members are gone, and you're like, I really wish I could have saw them. Like
They're holograms now.
when Yeah, they're holograms, exactly.
Just you
Yeah.
wait. You Tesla
I
robots.
came to see Pink Floyd, but all I got was these lasers in my eyes. I don't know.
Seriously. Well, thank you so much, Angel, for making this work, especially with the time difference. You're
Thank
amazing.
you,
I
fellas.
love your story. I hope we can stay in touch and keep
For
talking
sure.
and figuring shit out.
I plan to be
Jordy,
back on here
again,
one day.
You definitely will be back on. Jordy, as always, thank you for being co-host today, and I love
Yeah, thanks
you
for
and your
having me here.
personality, and you look like a blurry blob to me this entire time.
It's like every time
Did
someone
he
starts
change
talking,
for you at all, Angel, or is he still just blurry
It's
as
just
shit?
6 pixels of handsomeness right there.
I love that.
All I see,
love
it looks like Super Mario with a black
Yeah.
T-shirt on.
He does look
That's
like
right.
Mario.
Like the proper
seriously what he
pixelated
looks
one,
like.
like the NES Super Mario with the black T-shirt
I want,
on.
does.
I want that to be how it's
Can you
posted.
just do this for us real
He's
quick?
goth Mario. That's what it is.
There you go.
Doing?
That's exactly what it looks like for us.
Gothic Mario.
The funny part is like the people actually watching this, it's going to be crystal clear and he's going to look totally fine.
I was on
They're
my
not going
photo.
to experience.
Mine looks fresh.
They're not going to experience the Mario like we do.
You said you had to
All
knock
right.
down the wall, but I just was assuming that there was a wall behind you. I didn't
There
know
just so
that it
happens
was
to be a wall right here. To you, I'm standing
He
in the
actually
middle of
has
empty space.
He actually just has to jump up and smash it with his head
Yeah.
and then go down a tube.
So good.
Disappear.
All right, boys. I appreciate you.